chasing shadows, fighting battles. I've been on my own for a while, let them say I'm doing better. I've been broken, but now I'm going. I've been on the road of I made it through. It's like I'm chasing and I'm feeling the road. It's like I'm in a world. You take my freedom. Now you can freedom.
We back, y'all. After how long again? I don't remember. But we back. Better than ever. I was gonna do Will Wins Me, but I didn't feel like playing games today. Can I see the chat? No, I'll have to do something. Cool. I created an anime board game. Anime Conquest. Cool. I turned One Piece into a sport. This video turns One Piece into a scavenger hunt. Oh, makes sense. One Piece, find a One Piece scavenger hunt. That's true.
Yo, it's Rob here from Show Showdown. Today I'm here with
Manga Mama Perry,
Kumar Sutra,
Alpha Jack Sue.
and I created an anime board game called Anime Conquest. Now, this is going to be the Naruto edition. I'm going to deal 3 cards out to everybody here, and we have 4 different starting positions. The main objective of the game is to basically take over as many spaces as possible with your character cards. And we also have a pile of legendary, strong Naruto characters here. After round 3 of us all having 1 turn to go, you can trade in your other cards that you gain from the board for these legendary character cards. It's gonna cost 3 cards out of your hand for a chance to get a random legendary character card. You win this game by having at least 10 character spots that you own with your color. So mine will be orange, Parry,
pink,
Kumar,
Yellow.
Des.
Blue.
We'll explain the rules as we continue to go on. Are y'all ready?
Let's go.
Now I start.
Okay, I think it's pretty easy. I think it sounds pretty easy because all you're doing essentially. Oh, my mic even on? I can't tell if my mic's on, but I'm gonna turn my mic on just in case. I'm not too sure it's using the thing. Okay, but it sounds pretty easy. All you're really doing at this point is basically, I think what you're doing is you're putting one of your characters here, and then you're gonna start off by either picking one person or the other person from here, and then you're gonna keep going down or left or right, really depending on where you're going. It's not that hard to understand.
Ebisu's down here.
But I think my thing is that like I think character, depending on how strong the character is, I think that it should be different I think it should be like different points. So for example, like a character like Ibitu before with like a 1 point, while a character like My Guy would be with like 4 points or 5 points. Just like something based off of strength or something like that. It would be a conquest.
I like that. I'm gonna place Kinkaku here.
My gosh, man.
I think I'm gonna put Jinchurikifu.
You got food? Alright.
Feeling frisky.
Ooh, that is frisky.
Feeling frisky.
Okay.
Damn, man.
Where you starting off with? Who you starting off with?
Y'all gave me, man, I'm tired of this, man. I'm tired of getting disrespected out here.
Who the
All
fuck
right,
is you?
I'm gonna use my boy Shy, you know what I mean?
Alright,
And we're gonna
That is a weird outfit he's wearing. A striped blue, purple, and blue black shirt with green jacket, which is obviously symbolizing the traditional ninja garment, and then the dark pants. I don't know what the fuck he has this striped shirt, bro. It's a weird style that he's wearing.
Yeah. We're gonna put him up here in the corner.
not bad.
Up top,
Ain't
bro.
mad at it.
I'm gonna beat this rock dude to a pulp, man.
so that leaves me here.
Ooh. Oh wow.
Wow, that's pretty.
Okay.
Strong start.
Everybody has a strong start.
All right, so now it's my turn again. So I could either choose to sub Kinkaku out for another card in my hand, or I can choose to either move above and fight Ebisu, or move to the right and fight Hinata.
And we can agree or disagree
Right.
if that
And-
challenge.
And then I will state my reasoning on why I think Kinkaku beats either Ebisu or Hinata. And if majority of you guys agree, I take the space and the character card and I add it to my hand. So what I'm gonna do is I'm attacking Hinata. I feel like Kinkaku could definitely beat Hinata based on what we were seeing in the 4th grade Ninja War with his, Edo Tensei form.
Three, two, one.
I'll give him it.
Okay. All right. So they all agree. They gave me the green check.
It's hard not to.
So here we go. Hinata is now on my. So Kingaku will take the space, and then now that I have Hinata, I have to make sure that I add the color, and that ends my turn. Kumar, now you go.
All right. I think Fu can take on Zabuza.
Okay. Tell us what.
Definitely can take on Amari, because as a Jinchuriki, she got a tail beast. I want to go after Zabuza.
I mean, I'm cool with it.
Give me that.
All right, Desmond.
All right. Man.
Who's side fighting?
Y'all gave me some whack. I'm gonna draw into my enemy. I'm gonna go after Tayuya.
How y'all feel about that? Sai versus Tayuya?
Yeah, I'll give you.
I think, yeah.
I agree. Hey,
Hey, give me a girl.
So I want to battle Shino.
As Kai was, oh yeah.
That's an easy W.
Like, I don't need to hear anything.
Biological.
I don't even need to hear anything.
Yeah.
Now it's back to my turn. I can either continue to move and attack either my guy or Asuma with Kinkaku, or
Try Asuma. I know my guy is stronger.
I could sub out Kikaku for another character that I have in my hand here. Or I could place another character card here and start to occupy spaces on the board. With that being said, I'm gonna place Hinata here. Now I have 2 spaces on the board that I control, and I'll end my turn.
Just another clarification, you can only occupy adjacently. So he could not have placed Hina.
Okay, so for example, let me do something. Okay, my phone's right. I'll put my phone in the charge. Let me do something. Wait, my phone is dead. So what I want to do is that I want to. The fuck? I can do that? You guys see it? Oh shit! I can actually do this. Okay, so how the fuck did I did this? Bro, I don't know how I did this, bro. Bro, I'm actually. How did I do that? Maybe? Can I say? Give me a second, guys. I don't know how the fuck I did that. Yeah. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird seeing myself doing this shit. Okay, this is my goal. Okay, let me do this. Okay. Okay. All right, cool. We did this. Maybe this. So I'll do this. I do something like this. This can work. Yeah, this can work. Let's do it.
Not to in any of those corners unless a piece is touching it. That's one of your colors.
So if you have one character spot on the board and it gets eliminated,
Then you can place it
then you
anywhere.
can place it anywhere.
But otherwise, occupy adjacently.
I'm going to put Zabuza back on the board. So I will also claim 2 spots.
Sorry, y'all.
Oh, strategy, I see.
Strategic retreat.
I'm not fighting him. What? He can move lightning like water. I'm not.
All right, Parry, your go.
So I am going to take Haku.
You're attacking up. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's an easy dub.
Third round.
Now it's back to my turn. Hinata attacking Ebisu.
Yes.
I think that's a clean up.
Yeah, clean sweep.
Clean sweep.
I think Zabuza beats Tamari.
Can you explain a little bit more?
I think people really sleep on Zabuza just because he got off the show by Kakashi early on.
Yeah.
He was slated to be a problem. 7 swords in the miss.
I'll give it
But
to you.
Tamari
He's 7 swords.
is one of the protectors of Gaara. Any weapon that goes near her, she can pretty much blow it away.
He's a water jutsu user again. I think he just has the capabilities of being able to stand toe to toe against someone.
So I think Tamari's smarter.
She got typhoon energy. You know what I'm saying?
I'll give you the check because Zabuza lost to Kakashi. So it's like we have 2 votes. Harry didn't go, but that's majority.
Yeah, Daltamari might give him some.
All right, take it, Tamari.
Y'all know what time it is, man. These gotta go. And y'all see what I'm working with?
Okay.
Zoom in on that.
So you're trading those in.
Yeah, give me something hot, baby. Oh snap! Hey, bro. Would you tell me I didn't make a good choice though? All right, well, whoever want that work later.
Obito? Oh man.
I'm going to also trade in.
Okay.
I want that one, whatever that is.
What?
I have a feeling.
It's really gonna make me laugh, please. Let me see.
You got.
Damn!
Wow.
Oh shit! Yeah,
You
Kaguya.
swapping?
Yeah.
Damn!
I think I'm also gonna trade in for a legendary. I mean, I got some good ones in here, but I think I need some firepower.
Yeah, we got the homie in the building.
All right, guess I'll play.
Yo, oh my god.
Get this little man out the way, man.
Oh!
Sai versus Akatsuki.
I barely remember Akatsuki, but
Yeah.
Two.
I don't know if I can give you that, to be honest.
For Akatsuki?
so he on team 7. So what? Oh, that's okay. That's side character staff, man.
Bro, Sai is a side character too.
Where was he at? Where was he at during the?
Where was he? He was there. Hooping.
He was in there. Sai was hooping. What do you mean?
Sai was hooping?
Sai been hooping.
In
man.
the water?
Bro, Sai been there in all obstacles, man. He ain't never really got. All right.
Wait, what does Sai do in the water?
Yeah, what does Sai do?
What
It's
does
too
Sai
fake. It's too fake in my mind. I'm not gonna lie. But I played myself.
It's all, I mean, you still have Obi. You have
I do got Obito, and
Yeah,
I'm about to run up the board right now.
Kaguya to challenge Orochimaru.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna put up the.
Check.
This is what y'all want to see.
My go, I'm looking at this 2v1 right now.
And yes, guys, this is actually a valid play. If you see, I have Killer Bee and Kinkaku on my team, so I can do a 2v1 against my guy. And let's say, for instance, I had Jugo on my team as well. That would be a 3v1. Every surrounding card that's adjacent to my guy, if they're on my team, I can jump him. But at the same time, if there's another player that has access to my guy and they want to take 2 of my guys out, for instance, Killer Bee and Kinkaku, if my guy wins, I would lose both Killer Bee and Kinkaku.
Oh, against
Mike?
Mike Guy? But Mike Guy is something special.
We've seen like the 6-tailed form of like, he had like 9 tails chakra or something like that. He can literally turn into tail beast form and he has the 8 tails. I think if they jump my guy,
You got to consider my guy if he opens up all the gates.
but it's one, it's a self-sacrifice, but 2, he needed help in order to get through. Because remember, Madara in 10 tails form, he had the true secret orbs. So like, if my guy even touched one of them, it would have been a wrap. So Kakashi was helping him out, Rock Lee was helping him out, Gaara was helping him out, Minato or whoever else was there was helping him out. So he needed help in order to pull it off. Like, that feat was amazing. Madara did coin him as like the best taijutsu user of all time. That's great. But I'm saying, yo, there's 2 Jin Trinikis technically jumping my guy.
If you're challenging with 2, you're risking losing 2.
I'm trying to say Killer B and Kinkaku versus my guy.
Ooh.
But if you challenge 2 and you lose 2.
I lose 2.
You could challenge 3, you could challenge 4 all in one character, but if you lose that challenge, you lose all those characters challenging the adjacent character.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, player.
It's so close though.
He's rocking
It
both
is
of
kind
them.
of. I mean, I can see the argument for both sides. I just.
I am low-key interested. Here's the thing, I'm not interested. I only, because this is all about fighting. And I don't really care about much of fighting like that. So I am basically just fucking sleeping here. Okay. Let's see here. I don't seem to have anything. Let's see something. That's something about Shonen Showdown. Shonen Showdown his sorry. His here's the thing. Like Shonen Showdown, it's only like some fucking it's only some videos I'm actually I wouldn't mind watching. When it comes on to like if it's pure power scaling, or if it's even if it's pure power scaling, I don't mind watching. But the version that he's doing it is very boring. And then One Piece is a sport, it's a scavenger hunt. Okay, let me do something. Let me see something. Do I have anything I want to watch? Let me check my my watch later playlist. Uh, mm, did you do anything? No. Let's do this one. Why not? Wait, what? Wait, oh.
This is why you can't trust society. Because
I wanted to see what the fuck. Oh, why did I go to the Shonen Showdown? Yeah, I don't care. Anime Conquest. How do you even say that name? Altoi? Oh, we watched it.
Podcast one time, and I won't mention their names because who the even cares.
Actually, my number one, they must.
Okay, they're supposed to
My
do this one.
husband actually interviewed these Red Pill guys on their podcast one time, and I won't mention their names because who the even cares.
Actually, my number one, they must be generous with their finances from day one.
Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why they must be generous with the finances from day one.
I love my wife. I love my wife. Ah! Let's go ride a bike with my.
First of all, I want to say that I'm a happy birthday. All of this is possible because you told me I could do anything that I wanted. I think the only thing you could do is follow the game. Ghislaine sing. Will you be Ghislaine sing forever again?
Yes! Oh my god!
Oh my god. Oh my god.
How big is this? Thank you so much. I'm just really curious. What is it with this era of men who just enjoy being humiliated by their women?
I just wanted to feel.
Well, here's the thing. It all comes down to feminism. When because obviously when feminism started, it was basically equality. It started off as equality, but as time progressed, it went from equality to more, I want to be basically dominating over the men. So basically, a lot of people, because when people refer, masculinity, they usually refer it as, it's toxic masculinity. So any form of masculinity, see it as toxic. So what's the opposite of masculinity? Well, it's femininity. So if they think masculinity is toxic, they're gonna be more feminine and be more subservient of being mistreated.
Feel good.
Damn.
It had been so long since
I'm
I
sorry,
felt good.
What?
Damn, well, were you not putting it down? Was she not picking it up? Or did you know who you were gonna marry before you married her and married her anyway?
No, it's the latter. That's the latter. Jada always had a thing for Tupac. That's the thing. Tupac was like, comparing Tupac to Will was like comparing the bad boy to the golden boy. That's essentially that's like the best comparison I can make. Tupac was like the bad boy. He's the gangster, the hoodlum, and obviously him and Jada went way back. And you had Will, he's a cool kid, but like he's not like a bad boy and stuff like that. Even like in his rap, he doesn't swear. So it's just like he was the cool kid. He was like the cool, but he was more like I wouldn't say like a preppy kid, but he was like a cool kid that like, everyone liked, but like there was no edge to him, unlike someone like Tupac.
Because she was pretty. And throughout the years, we've seen the same thing with so many other people, so many other guys.
Aisha Curry, Adam 22, yeah, legit.
And their wives seem to get off on humiliating them.
If you can, I just want to ask you if you've
Idubs too.
always been shitting your pants.
No.
Because since I've known you, you've always had like IBS. You've always been shitting yourself.
Yeah, well.
What the fuck?
So she's explaining why Ian took her last name of Jonma.
My name over his last name is because his last name is like just objectively ugly. It's just like an ugly last name. Like Washburn sounds horrendous. Like
That doesn't really matter. In huge, the only thing if I remember correctly, I think the only time when I think the only culture that does the whole take the mother's name, I think that's more like in Japan, if I'm correct. If I remember correctly, that's more of a Japan thing where the child takes the mother's last name, if I'm correct. But usually in the West, it's more the other way around. It's usually like a double-barreled name, or it's you take the father's last name. For me, I have a double-barreled name, so I have my father's and my mother's last name. That's me. But it's usually more you take the father's last name and then or you do a double-barreled last name. Either or.
Lisa Washburn definitely stormed the Capitol. That's how that went. But like, I feel like
She's saying it sounds white.
rude.
I think she's saying it sounds white.
Yeah.
It's so rude.
It's so rude. These are your this is his family. I think his siblings. He has got obviously his mom and dad.
It's your
like,
family.
You are such a fucking horrible human.
My God! How big is this? Thank you so much.
No.
The women don't even have the grace to even pretend as though they love their men, because now with
No, because she always curves Akash, and the thing is for Akash is that this is his first girl. But if I remember correctly, they knew each other even before he was rich. So he has a strong connection. For him, it's a strong connection. So it's a one way type of thing, because the thing is that Akash is emotionally invested into her. She is not. So it's not a two-way what's going on here.
everyone being in front of the camera, it's all about sharing your moments from second to second, and you get to see a lot more than you would have behind closed doors. Whereas people would simply guess that you're probably a gold digger or an awful person, now you've helped them confirm it. And men will recognize this. They'll know that the women are pieces of trash and still wife them up and then complain. Or they'll lie to make themselves feel better, thinking that, it's the internet and people aren't going to find things out when your wife inevitably opens her mouth and lays all to bear. And that's what happened with Akash Singh. Now, I don't know this man, but there was a collective cringe.
Yeah, I don't know him either, but from what I've seen from clips, he seems like a good dude. He seems like a nice guy. It's just that he's with her. And that's just the issue. He's a nice guy. He's just a nice guy getting manipulated. That's just what this is. Plain and simple. He's just a nice guy getting manipulated by a girl who, again, she looks good. She looks beautiful, but her
from not
personality is
just the
garbage.
online community, but men and women collectively having to watch this person just embarrass her husband. But then again, he did it to himself because he knew the kind of person she was and he married her.
Sometimes I get...
Yeah, and that's the problem with... That's the issue with Akash, is that he's a nice guy, but he knew what he was doing. And he still decided to marry her anyways. And again, apparently they're not signing a prenup, so if Akash or if she... more likely she wants out. If, most realistic case scenario, she wants out, half this shit's going to her, which is gonna be fucking shitting on him. That's gonna be bad for him.
So painfully nostalgic for college. The top 4 songs when I came back for my sophomore year: Click, Pop That, Bands Make Her Dance,
Oh my goodness.
Birthday Cake, The 2 Chainz. I was
Just a bunch of rap songs talking about women and shit. That's crazy.
popping my and living my best life in these white boy frat houses, and I had a roster of...
That's crazy that your best time of your life was getting passed around like a blunt. That is crazy.
guys that I would rotate through. So it's like,
Girl should have gotten in the right profession, because staying at home as a wife probably isn't the best use of her time
Oh, no.
or her obvious talents. And
Oh no. Who the hell brags about being... I literally said the joke. I didn't even fucking watch this video. I didn't even watch the full video. Who the fuck about being passed on like a joint at a fat party, bro? I don't know, man. And that's the issue. That's the issue nowadays. You can't shame people for being promiscuous. That's the problem. You can't shame anyone, or else you're the insecure one.
of course, once this comes out, the guy is the one that usually gets the heat for it because they're like, oh, you're a cuck. But there are some people at least calling out the woman. But it's like whenever the women have these bad behaviors or do the most, everybody attacks the guy. She's the kind of girl that would piss off a lot of her friends and nobody would like her because she needs to be the most important person in the room and then wonder why nobody likes her.
I was popping my.
I met this guy on Tinder. This was before Bumble or Hinge. Like, this was like in the OG days of the app. And this guy, I made the dumb mistake of letting him sleep over, like not really wanting to fucking hook up. And I like woke up in the morning and like my asshole was a little sore.
Oh my god. What's great for me are the people that I order
You don't know what happened, but you woke up with your freaking cheek sore, and that means you got assaulted. That isn't that don't you think it's a little don't you think it's a little bit like kind of weird? Is that you don't remember what happened, but you woke up and then your butt started hurting? You don't realize how bad that sounds?
Just because even though she's literally playing them, it's so painfully hilarious. And when I say hilarious,
And
it's
the issue is that Akash knows it. He knows that she doesn't like him that way, but he's still going on with it. And that's the problem. That's why I don't. That's why That's why I don't completely feel bad for this guy. I'm like, damn, that sucks that you chose this person out of anyone you could have. But I'm just like, I don't really feel that bad for you or sorry for you because you chose this person. Because from what I've seen, they've knew each other for a while now, so he knows who she is, and yet he's still went after her.
not actually funny. It's just painful to watch. And it's not just the husband, it's her supposed best friend as well.
Would y'all ever have an
And the biggest issue is that he goes on like a Fashion Fit podcast and kind of like makes fun of, but he criticizes Fashion Fit's like their ideology on women. So the issue is that Akash goes on the Fashion Fit podcast, criticizes their ideology on women. Basically, you shouldn't treat like these other women that badly, so whatever. But it's just like you are literally marrying this girl who is bragging her promiscuous, I can't say promiscuity history. Basically, she's promoting herself being passed around. Basically, you're counting a story where she basically kind of got assaulted, especially if you don't really know what the fuck happened and you just woke up with your butt hurting. Like, there's only so much sympathy. There's only so much like, damn, I can really feel sympathy I can give to you, bro.
Together with your husband. Rhea, I'm actively trying to have an orgy because this couple is so fucking good looking and you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you fucking see him. His body goes crazy. His face card always slays, never.
Oh my god. Can you imagine? The person you're about to marry is talking like this about another dude. That's crazy.
Time. And it's kind of weird because I'm talking about your husband. I just know that Nav's dick is like at least 10 inches.
That's so funny. Okay, so let me translate what this means in woman. You have a husband, and I'm not the center.
You have a husband, and I want your husband. I don't like my husband, but I like your husband. That's essentially what it is.
Center of attention from him, so I have to make him think about me, even though I also have a husband. But your husband is also mine. Everybody's husband gets to be mine. As long as I put my image of sexuality wanting your husband in your husband's head, I'll always be more superior than you.
It's kind of weird because I'm talking about your husband.
She even addresses it. And this one over here...
And that's the problem. She's aware of it. And from this girl right here, it's just like she's not really telling him like, "Yo, chill the fuck out. It's my husband." She's kind of like, I mean, whatever. I mean, I guess she's kind of proud of that because like in fact that another girl is trying to lust after my guy. I think for her that's more. I think for this girl here that's on the screen, it's more like a pride thing. It's like, hey, the fact that this girl is trying to get after my guy kind of proves that I chose correctly. Some shit. Whatever.
Translation for what she's saying. Oh my god, I'm dying inside. I fucking hate you, stupid fucking whore. But I'm acting like it doesn't affect me. It doesn't bother me at all because I don't want to look insecure and I want to be around your orbit because you're prettier and I'm insecure. Like, that's basically what all of this is, because all the laughter is fake. The girl is fake. And I'm sorry, but the girl in the blue shirt is such a piece of shit person. I would be so scared to be the girl in the blue shirt because the very friends that you have around you that decide to stay around you no matter how bad you are of a person, they're the people you have to look out for because they'll be the ones that come to your house and freaking steal those and strangle you with it. I'm just saying, like, all those movies you watch about, like, a pretty girl and she's not even mean to this friend and fuck by a serial killer is actually the friend that he's very handsome or whatever, but like, you are going in and you're going somebody that is your friend, like, what okay, it's winning, but if it's not, that's kind of stuff. It's very even like, this is a husband. No, 100%. This woman she's a freak hole, pun intended. She needs to always set attention. She humiliates.
Who's your girlfriend? Sore subject.
So feels when she looks at others and versus them, and she feels selfish. Always has to be the most important person in the conversation in the room without giving back to people.
Your husband's work all for like any man that doesn't want to join bank account or isn't being transparent. His money is army, my enemy.
Fucking right.
Bullshit. She just draining your bank account. But it does not make you. I can join my personal account with this one, with this joint account because, I trust him a lot. That's kind of projection because it's kind of show that you're insecure. The fact that really, let's be honest, you ain't got no money. Let's really be honest, you ain't got no money, and if freaking Akash does get a prenup, man, well, again, I think she has to sign it too. So that's well, Akash basically screws that because she's not signing that prenup. I'm saying that right now, she's not gonna sign that shit. That's great. Yeah.
No, I can't even feel bad for people like Akash because you see shit on the
Yeah, and that's the problem is that we've seen videos upon the videos, her ducking his kisses and shit like that. Whenever he wants like a kiss on the lips, she's trying to always moving her head away. She doesn't like him emotionally. She doesn't actually feel anything for him. She just likes him because he has money. Even if she knew him before getting money, why do you think she's with him now? Because he has money. It's simple.
Sidewalk and you slurp it up and then you get an upset stomach, and most people aren't going to be like, wow, you poor thing, look at you, the shit called to you. No, you bent over seeing what it was and decided to put it into a cup and make it into freaking boba tea. And what's worse, you're paying for it.
I love you, but I actually love you and want all of you.
I mean, just look at the eye contact between them and how awkward Akash looks. I mean, she really almost slipped up and straight up said that she wanted to bang this guy.
Can I say this is the best husband I've ever seen? And I'm not even saying that hyperbolically. It's a little annoying.
I could never leave your podcast. Like, you would have to talk to your husband. Hey, is that okay to share? Anything that would make your husband or your other look bad, think that you would avoid that if you loved him, but that's the truth that your husband clearly does love himself. They are into humiliation, and that's how they're not to get him.
I would not say that. I know. I work with many people. I work at a FedEx, and I'm co-workers. I'm co-workers with many Indian men, and they don't really like. That they're not like, they don't like the humiliation fetish like that. So I think that's just more of an Akash thing than an Indian thing.
This is why you can't trust society, because people are so dishonest. You'll have people who are cheering and snapping their fingers for you, but they won't tell you the truth. Or if you do tell them the truth, they get all upset and emotional, which ironically proves
That's actually something, because that actually happened to Andrew Wilson. Essentially, I think what happened was the girl, hold on, let me put it. It's like what happened, can you do frame by frame? No? The fact what happened is that she was basically calling him like a cuck because his wife, because Andrew Wilson's wife, because what happened is, if I remember his background, I think Andrew had kids prior to meeting prior to meeting Rachel, and Rachel had kids prior to meeting Andrew. So they're just two people. They're just two adults who just got together. The thing, and then what she was basically trying to say is that he was a cuck because by the time that Andrew met Rachel, she was already had kids with two I don't think she had kids with two other men, but she was in a relationship with two other men. I think for one of them she had kids with that guy. But I'm pretty sure Andrew was the same thing as well. It's just that I think Andrew was the same thing as well. I think he had kids prior to meeting Rachel, so this is kind of like a whatever thing. It's kind of like, okay, you got kids, I got kids. Like, what's the big deal? Type of
Do
thing.
tell them the truth. They get all upset and emotional, which ironically proves you right about them in the end.
Person. But Charlie, I just think honestly you're too fucking stupid to understand them.
So Andrew, can I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you you lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What is that?
You're a fucking don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did
daddies?
I just say?
Wife with the 3
Sorry,
baby
I'm
daddies?
sorry. Is she morally inconsequent in comparison?
This is what you don't do. This is what you look increasingly attractive. This underlying anger.
Oh, yeah, I know she had 3 baby daddies. Oof. Ooh, I did not know that. Because I know that she had kids prior to meeting Andrew, and I think Andrew was for the same thing as well. But I didn't know she had 3 baby daddies. Ooh. I didn't know she had 3 different baby daddies. That's crazy. I did not know that.
Who tells you the truth. But when people don't tell you the truth, you keep making the same mistake over and over. Dare anybody call you out on it, and all of a sudden you're a hater, or the person telling you the truth somehow is the issue. And I find it rich that even within this clip, this guy is acting overly emotional, which tells me that he only has the intellectual bandwidth to handle people who are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to intelligence. So when someone who is actually intelligent or of average intelligence puts up the least bit of a fight by merely stating facts and blatant contradictions in what he stood for, he gets emotional and reverts to the mindset of a 3-year-old throwing verbal tantrums and insults because it's all about as if it's insult. And this across many people across as very entitled or overly equal, unwilling to anything about themselves, willing to hold any sort of accountability to their own actions and mistakes. Leslie Jones. That person don't find funny at all. It was especially
It's been so long since I heard that name. Leslie Jones, I completely forgot about her existence.
Everybody.
She has been irrelevant for so
I think
long.
everyone can agree that, to me, growing up and seeing her, she's not conventionally attractive. And it's not that she can't be. I think it's just how she carries herself that makes her look more unattractive than she is. I've seen women who look very similar to her, and they have wonderful personalities. They're not demure, but they have charm. She has 0 of that. I've seen some women that I'd be like, man, if I was a lesbian, I would date that woman, whether they are masculine presenting or not. But this is the kind of woman I'd want to run really far away from. And even if she was a lesbian, which she's not, as for her own mouth, as we're going to hear here in a second, I can't see other women wanting to be with her. I'm sorry. And it's not just her looks. Like, I'm sorry, this is something that people need to say. If you are not conventionally attractive, if you see that you're kind of person, you're a guy or a girl, that's if friends are getting the beats, I'm supposed to understand where you are level of attraction. For example, I'm Victoria from it. No, I'm hell. Most people are. Know your name. Doesn't mean you'll be people. Guys have told me I'm really, but then other guys, I'm just the opposite of their type. And that's fine. What's up is when personality just sabotages the ounce of someone attracted to you. For example, it looks really personality. And who are really attracted to toxic behaviors for females because the attraction they kind of balance out toxicity are willing to let God. people doing the sitting of or others were doing the in shit I was doing, they'd get these hold on. It just is what it is. Let's just be honest here.
Yeah, it's pretty privilege, and it's a fact. When if a guy is that's just how it is. That's just how that's just biology, bro. Most people, a lot of girls want the top guys. So if most girls want the top guys, what do the other guys get? Not much, do they? Sorry.
I don't know when it got mean to tell the truth. I think it's more honorable to tell someone the truth than to have them rolling through life looking like the whole personification of the Black Plague and people telling you, oh my God, yes, you looking beautiful today. I'm sorry, but I don't hate anybody enough to do that to them. And those same people will clap and smile and cheer you on and then talk shit about you behind your back. Or they would never date you. They'd be like, oh my God, you're so beautiful, yes. Oh, you want to go into, no, not me, but I hope you find someone though.
Do the men that you try to
Do the women that you try
show
to?
your hatred against?
Do you the women that you try to?
And it makes you wonder, like in this case with this old man, the only person he probably could have gotten was someone who did have a bunch of offspring with different people, 3 times the charm, right? Because I can't see anyone who is considered a high value woman by his standpoint, what he stands for. I can't look at that first place unless something's like wrong with their vision and or something. And this is disgusting on women. It's just that women can probably know more unless you jack.
I'm not good at all because I judge so hard. You do things like I'm like you. If I look at you like
I find it interesting about this because people look for the most minuscule features that don't
Jeez, I didn't really know hand size was a very big thing. Honestly, I'm like, well, I'm 6 foot. I know I'm 6 foot. The freaking basketball players that are like 5 inches, 6 inches tall to me, yeah, that have a smaller hand size than me, bro. I don't know. I never knew people liked hand sizes. I never really knew. I never really thought about that. The reason why I wanted to have bigger hands because I wanted to play on basketball easier. I did not think of, damn, maybe a girl will like me more because if I have bigger hands. I'm just like, no, I just want to play on basketball better. That's why I want bigger hands. I just want to play on basketball properly. I mean, I can play basketball, but it's very inconsistent. There'll be some moments where I can, some moments where I can't. I'm better at playing my left hand than my right hand. So that's the only reason why I wanted to have bigger hands. Like, yeah, I want to be Kawhi Leonard playing basketball. I didn't really think about whether a girl will like my hand size. The fuck?
Throwing stones from a glass house, are we? Like, I feel like people like this just do this as a self-soothing or defense mechanism to make themselves feel better about themselves. So, before you reject me, I'm going to reject you first for something that pales in comparison to how society views me. And it's very destructive, but then this person's also seeming to not ask for advice, but acting as though she doesn't know why people aren't checking for her. Like, for you to be rich, there's not even a sugar baby that will pretend. You know it's bad if you rich and I don't pretend.
I don't like the way grass. I haven't like these things. No, don't take no.
I take showers. I think showers are better than baths because when you take a shower, you actually you're getting rid of all the gunk. Why do you think in Japan whenever they take a bath, they take a shower first? They take a shower first, they didn't take a bath. Sorry, they're not having all that dirt and grime floating in the water. That's why whenever you take a bath, you take a shower. You take a quick shower first to get rid of all the gunk on you, and then you take a bath.
Yeah, you know, it's just so crazy, especially now. Like, and I'm famous, right? You know, when you get famous and you get, and you're a woman and you're successful, the first thing they think is what? You're gay.
No,
that's just you.
No, I have never thought of that. My first thought of is just that. What's the personality of this person? Because obviously, money. When people have a lot of money, let's be honest, you get a bit of an ego. When you have a lot of money, you get a bit of an ego because let's be honest here, money can shut up a lot of people. A lot of problems can be solved with money. So that's the thing. I never thought of that person's gay. I just think of I don't think whenever I see a girl, I don't think of that person's gay or not. I just think of, does this person have an ego just like any other typical rich person? Because let's be honest here, a lot of very rich people have an ego. And that ego's usually inflated because typically rich people have more power. So again, for me, it's not whatever that girl's gay. I just think of it, does that person's personality is still good, or is just that freaking, or that personality now more toxic because that person has a lot of money. No one thinks about the sexuality
Everybody
of the person.
thought you were gay because just like they do with guys, they don't see it with anyone. And I mean, just from what I've seen, not of her, but other guys I've known or girls I've known, it's just a trend, and it could be just nature's way of course correcting. But when someone is so conventionally unattractive, they usually start batting for the other team because, you know, the humans want love and companionship, and they're going to get it where they can get it. And you check back at those people that are shaped like rocks later, and they're with the same sex. Nothing wrong with that, but, you know, I've just noticed. Loneliness is one hell of a thing, but one thing I can respect those people for is they're being a victim and blame everybody and everything else. They just understood the fight and adapted.
I get that now that I'm single, and I don't really I don't really care what that
I will say it. I admit.
I can't love them, Leslie, if you're freaking caring heart for every little thing people.
Well, like, you turn them down for hand size. This is the whole like height and weight thing. Like, you can't change a nigga's hand size. That hand size is genetic. You can either be born with big hands or fucking small hands. You can't change that. Like, come on, you can't. Like, it's like, oh yeah, you can't be fucking. Obviously, I'm not gonna take surgery to get taller, but like, height is genetic, bro. Height is like 80% genetic. I think it's like 80 to 90%, somewhere around there. But like, it's mostly genetic. You're not like, if your genetics just say you're gonna be short, then it's gonna be short. There's nothing I can really do about that, right? You can be as healthy as you can, but there's only so much that like your nutrition and environment can help you out with, you know.
You don't want people judging you on your looks, but you will see the trivial of things on a man for things he can't change, just like you can't, and then pick him apart from the seams just based on those things. I'm not talking about the not taking a bath, but like, his hands are too small, really? Your face is too big. He could say the same thing about you, and you claim you love them. Clearly not enough.
You can say, yo, I don't like your hoops are too big, your head's too big, your forehead's too big, you ain't got much eyebrows. Like, you can say a lot of things, bro.
Because if you love them, if I was in your position, you know what I'd be doing? Working on myself. Clearly people are avoiding me like they do creepers in Minecraft. So I would wonder, is it something about me? Something that I'm doing? I love men enough to tone down whatever is going on with me, putting my ego aside, learning about men, first of all, just like you would any animal or pet that you want to bring into your home. You learn their diet, you learn their behaviors, you learn how to act around them because you love them, right? You want to be around them and you want them to be comfortable around you. So you can't say you love men. I'm not buying that whatsoever. Unless you love them so much you're trying to become one, but otherwise, that statement just falls completely flat.
Men,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
But I don't love a stupid man. Okay? And I didn't got to the point in my life where I want what I want in my life because I have worked so hard for peace. It can be with my peace. You be with the door.
Yeah. She says all of that, and I don't blame her for doing that, bro, but just saying, I know one person who's like a different persona in real life than she does. It's every time I see her interview on the street, what it is, outside of the camera, or outside of movie lenses, it's always exactly the same. That's what you're presenting to the world. I cannot fathom living with this person. To me, that's chaotic. Her whole energy is chaotic. And some people are into that. But if nobody's checking for you, you're so lonely, the fact that you've been alone so long, you must pass it, but you must send them to the door. Like, as you said, you must be held to deterrent. Or if you're what is it about you that's sending people away? I'll find out here in a minute. And the fact that there's a comedian so not self-aware, it's just a sad thing. Like, tell these people were broken and so they probably delved into comedy because that was their coping. That was a self-defense. I would never be caught on here saying all this shit because Sal talks over there of the show laughing. She's not on the laugh where she's forcing it. No, damn well, but she'll say it because that's not acceptable society to say.
Yeah, I really like. I think I'm by myself so long. First of all, I hate the term feminine energy.
I wonder why. Maybe people told her she's her masculine energy. And that's fine, but just understand most men are not into that. I'll give a hand that to a woman that's more masculine, but I think men who are into that, she doesn't want them. I bet she probably doesn't want them because they don't look like her.
And masculine energy. I term so much.
I think like we all have all of that.
You're masculine. Why don't you?
What in the T-Rex? Bro, she reminds me with the T-Rex where they were trying to hide.
We don't move.
I'm sorry, that stare is kind of uncomfortable. Just like, okay, we get it. You don't have to fucking do that shit. Damn.
You loathe it, absolutely, and because it's being said to you, it must mean it was said to you enough for you to probably take into consideration that it might be true. If everyone is saying exactly the same thing, different people that you meet across your life, why don't you have some self-reflection and wonder what people mean by that? And instead, you make it everybody else's problem. Everybody else is the problem. You insult everybody else when they try to tell you, hey, I don't like this. You can tell them what you don't like about them, but if they say, like, I'm interested in entertainment or something, you might be brilliant, but you choose not to. Completely okay, but they're not alone when people even came out and told you and were nice to do so.
I'm sitting here telling me, oh, wait, you are, yes!
Yeah, but what about the ones that say, oh, toxic masculinity? What about act like it doesn't exist on both on the other side, on your side as well?
Can you handle it?
Well, what you bringing to the table? I am the table.
Why the hell are you so freaking aggressive, bro? God damn.
And that's the issue that people don't want to deal with. Men, the average man doesn't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with someone that can give them more problems than they already fucking have. So they're not gonna bother with someone like that. They would rather be the average man would rather be alone than to deal with someone like her. And that's just what it is.
This anger. Bro, like, what? Are you mad? Like, are you... And then people are acting surprised as to why they chase away people. Freaking TD Jake's over here roaring at the camera, talking about you love men. You are the table. Oh, you're the shit that ate the table, bro. You got to...
I'm about to say, you're too big to be a table. You ate the shit on top of the table. Ain't no table no more. You
tone it down, but if you
I saw some chair legs. I was like, oh, what the fuck happened to the table? Oh, here's you burp.
Tell people this, they get mad at you and call you hateful. You try to help them. Oh, you're just hating. You're not on my level. Bro, I don't think you're on anybody's level enough to be talking like this. God, this is so embarrassing. This is so embarrassing. And I guarantee you, everybody else cheering, they're laughing, not necessarily at her, but it's just, yeah, we're just cheering. You know, like when a handicapped child competes in sports and they miss the hoop like a million times, and people will cheer louder for them than when they cheer the able-bodied people, but you know they're doing it. The child can be, and people cheer for them. Oh my gosh, you did! You're so free! And they feel themselves doing it. Oh, it's weakness. Adults are freaking mad. They'll look at a kid with his face cut off and because got out drooling everyone and tell them, oh, you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Let me tell you different. You're so beautiful. You're a prince. You're a princess. Meanwhile, we got the child over here looking at the child. I'm saying.
But here's the thing, though. That's a kid. There's a team talking that to there's a difference talking that to telling that to a kid than to an adult. When you talk that to a kid, the kid isn't really the kid is, you know, is young, doesn't really know much better. They're more sensitive, more emotional. When you're talking to an adult, you expect them to have more emotional control. You expect them to be more mature and to understand that. But if they act like I'm sorry.
Prince, you're a princess. Meanwhile, we got the child.
Yo, this shit funny as fuck, man. Yo, that whoever made that fucking that art, that sculpture, that's fucking hilarious. Yo, look at oh my god, this shit looks fucking hilarious, bro. Yo, I looked at a screenshot. I need to screenshot this. Let me screenshot. I'll screenshot a lot on my MacBook, so I don't know how to fucking do it. I keep on forgetting. So, Command Shift 5, just for the screenshot app to activate more options. Press and release, Command Shift 4. Oh, cool.
All over here looking chopped. And I'm in no way saying you should just go up to someone looking wrecked and be all like, ew, dude, what the fuck? Because that's just wrong to me. You know, you shouldn't have to go out of your way to be mean. I'm not saying you have to look like the top 1% of people. All I am saying is that people need to be adult enough to be self-aware and understand.
Yes, I think that's the thing, is that obviously for kids that's different. Obviously kids have emotional control. Yeah, well, that's the thing for adults though. When you're an adult, adults usually have to you expect adults to be more self-aware of who they are, not who they are. Well, yeah, who they are, and their attractive level, and that's the problem. The problem is that either that people are delusional and either that people don't want to do it. Yeah, I think the issue is that people don't want to realize that, or they know that, but they don't want to see themselves as that, so they have a problem with it.
Their own actions and how to pivot around those societal limitations. Be based in reality. You're a comedian. You can't be that fickle to be that scared of the truth. But then again, most comedians that I know of, they usually get into the field because there was a sore spot for them of insecurity as they were growing up, and comedy was their way out of that. Comedy was their way to combat those insecurities, people picking on them being unattractive, them being anxious or lacking self-confidence. And I think this just screams so loudly that those insecurities are clearly still there and on full display. And it's easier to be defensive, aggressive, and extremely off-putting than it is to change what you might be doing wrong, what people have told you, when you're doing something else, or make yourself aggressor, to let you fall, because the slimy questions and humiliation as a result.
I am the type. I understand that you wouldn't like me.
And here's loneliness talking. That's why they do not. And if she does watch it, with all the people leaders ever, let everybody clearly see why people don't want to like you, except you. You can't everybody else, but it's your faults, or you're too evil to.
You wouldn't like me. I'm rich.
That's the problem. The first thing that you said you're successful and you're rich. Let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest, guys. Most guys don't fucking care that you're rich. Okay? Most guys, this is the thing. Most guys don't really care about the financial. Well, okay, I wouldn't say is rich. Let's be honest here. Most people don't really care that if a girl's rich or not.
Is she joking right now? Is this part of the bit? Because if it is, it's not funny. Because, if you love men, but you're here talking about your peace, why do you think a man wants to be with you on top of everything else wrong with you? Because one of your qualities is that you can fight. Bitch, you are not a T-Rex. Unless you identify as one, then I'm sorry. But you think men want to get with a woman that can fight? You're abrasive, you're egotistical, you take no accountability, and you're not societally conventionally attractive. What else do you bring to the table? Even when they were willing to ask you that, your argument is you are the table. Are you really though? Because if you are, there's obviously no freaking food on it. And your last thing is that you can fight and you looking all smug. Why would I want to be with somebody like that? That when I come to fight, you don't need to fight for yourself. Woman, I'm sure there are a lot of men out there. Okay, then you're gonna have to bend and want. If you love men as you say you, how about you learn about them? Let's do work and die alone, or make compromise. I love animals. I love every animal. I love Python, my other little critters, cats. I understand having animals that diet requirements, certain behavior requirements. And I have 2 Shiba Inus. And I recall this. Not having other small creatures. Ferrets and more. I rabbit separated for a while because she kills every creature to do that. From she was very little, from 8 years old, she's still killing. So nothing in a training. Got that braid that's just his. And I can't cats. I can call animals for murder. I knew that about breed. I'm willing to make that compromise because I love her so much. But I don't people like know how often the breed is. And like, oh, she know what I do shrine because and I that hunting dog comes to pray. Doesn't matter what it break down. That's who's being the situation. And they act shocked. It acts in pit bulls. Like if you love me so much, you're so everything up, and that you're trying to build this thing and nothing is happening, you're getting no success. If you have a freaking Cane Corso and nothing that you do pisses you or aggressive, it'd be the sooner and you're not equipped to handle this or even near one. Clearly, you're not with the dedication to such an animal, learn habits or its breed or same comes to men. Men have all these different things to women. Men have to master how to not be as blunt as, when their feelings get hurt and angry. Men will try to avoid talking about certain things because they know they're emotionally enough to handle it and hurt their feelings.
Dispatch 2 is doomed. Bit of a black-pilled approach on a developer said themselves didn't actually expect people to into the romance, and that designed as basically a sort of kind of throwaway thing, which is why a lot of people get to romance and who but romance so why they were only romance in Dispatch because they didn't think it would be a major focus. So I felt like that was a core focus of it, but that was up a little bit quite excellently. The Dispatch devs want to be jerks, wasn't so nice. The game that is right now is primarily for being a return to the old school superhero entertainment.
I have never heard that I have never heard anyone say that about Dispatch. I have never heard anyone say that about Dispatch, that it's back to the golden age of heroism. Never heard about that.
Is created by developers who would prefer it if you were a bigger douchebag to everybody. Dispatch became such a phenomenon that it was precisely because it was a nice game as a stark alternative to the current ongoing trend of evil and asshole superheroes being seemingly the only thing we get. All we have had now of superhero entertainment for the last 10 odd years has been deconstruction of the superhero genre, or stuff that basically amounts to parody. Meanwhile, Dispatch, which dared take itself seriously, at least it appeared to, well, it was roundly applauded for it, and yet now, I mean, it genuinely looks like it was all a complete and total accident. So, we're going to read through this article because it gives us a lot of little pointers. More than 2 million people have played Dispatch, the narrative-driven superhero game from Ad Hoc. That's countless millions of choices made across each run, with dozens of variations and scenarios only a handful of people might seem so far. Now, the finals wrapped up and people have spent more time with the game, Polygon asked Dispatch narrative director Pierre Short and creative director Nick Herman which choice stats surprised them the most. It wasn't whether folk cut Coop or Sonar, though they were not expecting more people would cut Sonar than Coop. Really? You expected more people to cut the hot, dangerous female femme fatale assassin and keep the furry man. Okay. When content creators shy, most critical, white voices the former, or which romance interest they opted for. The biggest surprise was just how damn nice most of you are being. Very often people pick the most boring things. Sure, jokes. Everyone wants to be nice, so a lot of times we're trying to keep it entertaining for them, but I'm so disappointed in so many choices. So, here's the thing. A big part, again, of the importance and the popularity of Dispatch was that it played it straight. It did. And God, I myself too. First episode, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a boys thing. Everybody's gonna be real themselves to be terrible human beings sooner or later. And Blonde Blazer.
Funny because a lot of people thought that Blonde Blazer was gonna be like this manipulative douchebag that a lot of people thought about that. A lot of people thought that Blonde Blazer was just a manipulative douchebag that was trying to manipulate Robert and stuff like that. A lot of people had that aspect about her because she was being nice to him in the first episode. So a lot of people thought that Blonde Blazer was going to be like a traitor or just like playing his emotions, but it actually turned out that Blonde Blazer was actually pretty chill. Her feelings were genuine towards Robert. It was not fake.
An attractive woman who's nice to me. Oh yeah, she eats babies. There's no question about it. Because we had been so thoroughly conditioned to believe that. And the fact that Dispatch wasn't that was the biggest surprise, and a pleasant one as well.
Legit, so many people were surprised. For me, I'm not gonna lie, I had speculation as well. But I never believed the theory. I knew about the theory, but I never believed that it was gonna be the case. And I hoped it wasn't the case, and I'm glad that it's not the case, because the shit that Mandy does throughout the story, bro, very important. She's a very important character, especially even without power. She still tries to help out, and that's freaking cool as shit. But in the final battle, she's freaking you're driving the whip and shit, driving the fucking full on fucking gas pedal to Shroud, and like. Even without powers, Blonde Blizz is still trying to help out. I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
One could imagine. Sure, it admits some of the incongruity between what Ad Hoc hoped for, a broad range of good, bad, and middling outcomes, and what players chose, almost always a polite choice, come from challenges inherent in making games like Dispatch. The protagonist here has a distinct personality that may be out of sync with yours, and he's not here as an empty vessel for you to fill, but that's on purpose. Well, again, no, I disagree. See, they say Robert is a character. Sure, it says. You roleplay as Robert, and this is going to piss off some people, but this isn't about you. It's about you and Robert, about you roleplaying as this type of person.
No, that's not the issue. The issue is that, okay, yes, we know Robert is a character in its own. Yes, we know that Robert is a character. It's not a self-insert here. We know that Robert is a character, but the choices that he says also depicts depends on her personality as well. We know that Robert has kindness in him. He's been a hero for so long. He wasted millions and millions of dollars fixing the suit and stuff like that. So we know that Robert is a selfless dude. So if Robert, despite as sarcastic and monotone that he is, if he has moments where he's nice to people, it makes sense. Cause that is in Robert's character, to be nice. Even when he even if it doesn't sound like the nicest person, it makes sense for him to say nice things. It makes sense for him because that's how he is as a character. We knew that from his introduction. We look at his living situation, how much he's willing to sacrifice for Los Angeles. We see that. So it makes sense for Robert to be a nice person.
Again, no, that's... Listen, Robert is perhaps one of the blankest of blank slates characters I think I've ever unironically seen, okay? It's the classical thing. You have a hero.
I wouldn't say he's a blank slate, but I would say that no matter... Because the direction... Because here's the thing. We either go in a vengeful direction or like a heroic direction, or we do a mix of both. And it makes sense for Robert to either delve into one of those things or be a mix of both. Like, he's a nice guy who will save people, but he wants to kill Shroud. It makes sense for him to do that since Shroud is the one who killed his father, despite having not the best relationship with his own dad. So again, no matter which direction we go to, it will make sense for Robert to go to either those directions either way.
Hero who is down on his luck. He loses powers and needs to slum it with the rest. He has been reset to zero in a brand new environment where he doesn't really know anyone except Chase, who is then a sort of a mentor figure to
Well, I don't think he never had powers. He just had the robot suit. So when his robot was just destroyed, it just kind of... Yeah, I would say he's back. I don't think he's back to zero, but he's more like in the negatives because he broken shit. So he has like nothing to his name. So he kind of has to do the SDN thing because of his experience on the field.
Introduce him into the world, and he now has to do something he has never done before. This is, again, a character reset to about the most basic point you can imagine, with then finally a payoff at the very, 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 very end, where he regains his old powers as a way of showing, look what you've achieved, you've built something, you've created something, you've gotten back to where you were.
And the thing is that it's also development for Robert, because when we're introduced to Robert, he's doing things by himself. He's a loner. he has nobody backing him up, nobody helping him. But as the series, as we progress through the story, we see Robert accepting help. We see Robert. Well, we can choose for Robert to be grateful or whatever. But we see Robert accepting help, being grateful for people helping him, because again, after his dad died, as Chase said, he was in a dark place. He didn't keep contact with Chase anymore. So it's just that we see Robert becoming more willing to allow people into his life and to know who he is personally. We even have a choice to really, because we even see the choice that he's willing to fucking to tell people the truth about his identity, about him being Mech Man. We get to do that, and it makes sense for him to do that because we know that he knows that revealing his identity would obviously out him, right? But he trusts the Z team enough to really reveal his identity. It shows development for his character, and it makes sense it will make sense either way. It will make sense for him to hide it. It will make sense for him to reveal it.
And as for his personality, again, he's rather studiously bland, charismatically so, mind you, in a tasteful and good, compelling way, but studiously bland. And as for the romance,
I would say he's generic. He's not. He's a generic hero. I wouldn't say he's. Yeah, I wouldn't. Well, bland, generic, same fucking thing. Yeah.
Okay. I love the romances in Dispatch, don't get me wrong, but it definitely does have the whole, oh hey, vanilla protagonist, have my babies please, kind of feel to it. As the women just kind of throw themselves at Robert for, well, not really that much of a reason, beyond that he has had puppy dog eyes and he used to be Mecha Man, I guess. Robert's type
No,
is...
I feel no. For Invisigal likes Robert because she's attracted to people with bruises and cuts and shit like that. That's what made her attracted to Robert in the first place. And then what made Blonde Blazer attracted to Robert was that he's a hero. He has no powers, and we get to learn that man has no powers either. The fact that he has no powers, and yet he's willing to put his life on the line for so many times. And he's the fact that he's willing to ruin, basically, as what he said in first episode, to basically ruin himself financially. It really shows you how much he's willing to put in the work to be a hero. It really shows you how much he loves being a hero. The fact that he's willing to spend millions and literally ruin his own living situation just for the sake of heroism. That's what made Blonde Blazer like that's what made Blonde Blazer like Robert. Is that he's a no powered guy who is willing to put his life online for so long.
Generally decent and friendly. He jokes, he flirts, but he wants the best for almost anyone he meets. It's easy to just keep that attitude going in each episode, but he doesn't have to be that way, nor does he have to do the things you would do in real life. You can expect what version of Robert...
Yeah, but what's the whole point of choices then? I understand that. What's the point of choices then? Because if that's the case, then you should never made like a Telltale game or a choice game. Because the whole point of that was to give us the decision on what we would do if we insert a bit of ourselves in Robert. What would we do in that situation? That's kind of the point of doing a freaking multiple choice type of game. It's not supposed to be, oh, what would Robert do? Not supposed to not role play, but like pretend to be Robert and get in his head and see what he would do and assume what he would do. It's like, okay, well, we factor a bit of ourselves into it too, like what we would do as well if we were in Robert's situation.
You want. Yes, and we did. And it's the nice guy. See, again, I understand from the studio perspective that they would have preferred more variety and choices because they made lots of different options, right? They made lots of different endings, presumably, lots of different variations, variables, but the fact that people picked the good guy routes shows you that what people actually wanted wasn't a bad guy variable. It wasn't a twist where you turn out to be a douchebag to everyone.
A lot of people think of Robert as a guy with a heart of gold, even if he sounds or looks very even if he sounds like very not say sound, even if he has a look of like a person that has he's been through, even if he's been through like a bunch of shit and stuff like that, he still wants the best. He still wants the best for people he cares about. That just makes sense for Robert as a person.
It was actually for you to be the hero. People just wanted a gosh darn hero. And apparently, against your better wishes, he was, and you delivered that. One scene in episode 4 stands out: Herman and Charlotte. Robert helps Mandy, aka Blonde Blazer, fix her dress before she heads out for a date with her alien boyfriend Phenomenon. No. Am I No. Okay, God. Wait, is this the...
No, that didn't happen in episode 4. In episode 4, it was... She was going to... No, because they broke up. If I remember correctly, it was the end of episode 2. Between episodes 2 and 3, and it was in a comic. If you buy the deluxe edition, you get the comic and see what happened in Tokyo. But between episodes 2 and 3, it was that... First of all, she broke up with Phenomena Man before episode 4. It was the end of episode 2. I remember this. Because at the end of episode 2, her and Phenomena Man went to Tokyo. It was at that moment when basically there's a comic where that takes place. It takes place between episodes 2 and 3. And it's basically basically what happens at the date between Mecha Man and Blonde Blazer. Blonde Blazer was asking Phenomena Man basically, what's the future before us, right? Phenomena Man is basically, we're just gonna do our thing, we're gonna be heroes basically until whatever happens. Whatever happens, we're gonna be heroes. But the thing is, Blazer didn't want that. She wanted a normal life. And obviously we get to know that she's actually a normal girl underneath the mask, whatever. But the point is that she wanted a normal life. She wanted to basically do basic human shit. Like, watch TV together, chill out on the couch, you know what I'm saying? Maybe just chill out and watch stuff together. And Phenomena Man didn't want that. So she broke up with him. So this article is on because by the beginning of episode 3, they were not dating anymore. They broken up. The reason why episode 4 that Robert helped out Blonde Blazer because she was going to a gala for SDN to promote SDN and stuff like that. It wasn't to be go with from that. So I don't even know this. I don't know if the person that wrote this article even played the game.
Also, of the article making a mistake or the writers?
It was the writers.
But no, that was going to a charity gala after she'd broken up with Phenomena Man.
Yes.
A commentary on the team noticed as players had formed strong opinions about Mandy by this point, for whatever reason, and are firmly on Olivia's girl's side. When Mandy asks Robbers how she looks, you have the option to be kind, helpful, or rude and dismissive. No revolt for guessing what the most popular choice is.
Yeah. It was. I said that she looks good, and then I remember I pointed out that she had the areola poking out.
Like a big game on stream, and the second you get the opportunity, you do the boring thing. Herman laughs. Well, of course, because she looked amazing. Not to mention, if you do indeed assume that she's a puppy-eating super murderer, act nice to the puppy-eating super murderer. As again, Blonde Blazer being a decent human being, a very decent human being, was indeed a shock because of the constant training, the Pavlovian response that has been hammered into us to expect that every nice person in entertainment is deep down a horrible human being.
Yeah, that's the issue, is that a lot of media recently, they're basically having that where the main character, not the main character, but like whenever a female character is attracted to the main character, it's like, ooh, she might be manipulating him and shit like that. Like, so like Rize from Chainsaw Man or freaking Makima or some bullshit. Cause that's the thing. A lot of media nowadays, they have that betrayal type of thing. I mean, I don't mind it. I don't mind it like personally. It's that it just happens so much that people just are not surprised if that happens. People get suspicious about it if that happens.
Especially if they're being nice to a regular person.
Yeah, and we find out later on, we find out, I think it was end of episode 4. Yeah, in episode 4. We found out in the end of episode 4, guess what? If you go on a date with Blonde Blazer, we find out that, hey, Blonde Blazer's also a regular person, so it makes sense.
This scenario is particularly surprising to the team, as players tend to form unreasonably antagonistic attitudes towards Blonde Blazer. I fucking knew I wasn't the only one.
No, you weren't the only one, bro.
Goddamn knew it. Trud says a sizable number of people play Dispatch and expect Blazer to be secretly horrible, that she'll resent Robert for choosing Invisigal, or that she's following some secret corporate agenda. Well, that latter point more so, because she never really interfered in your relationship at all. She was cool with it, far cool.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Blonde Blazer is emotionally and she's emotionally mature. She knows that even if someone's not interested in her, they can still work together and be and that's the and even if they're not dating, they can still be friends and still save people together. Invisigal isn't like that. She's not emotionally mature enough to understand that. So I play Dispatch. I noticed. So when in my route I went with Blonde Blazer. So when I was dancing with when Rob was dancing with Blonde Blazer in, I think it was episode 6. Yeah, it was episode 6. When at near the end of episode 6, when Blonde Blazer and Robert are dancing together, we see Invisigal get angry in the background because she's not emotionally mature enough to be like, yeah, okay, just because I like a person, that person's gonna like me back. She's not emotionally stable enough to understand that.
Cooler than Invisigal is with it. But yes, no. That's where we are right now, where the majority of people will see just an attractive, nice woman and think, trap. Yep, that's a trap. Yep, I'm not going close to that. In fact, instead, I will deliberately choose the ex-supervillain. You know, the girl whose introduction has her spying on you, changing and stealing Mandy's earrings. That was the word I was looking for. That one. I'm gonna rather choose that one because at least she's outwardly evil. She is outwardly bad. So her evil is on display. What you see is what you get. Whereas Mandy, what you get is, well, eventually a date with her freezer as you're chopped off into tiny pieces by heat vision. For a variety of reasons, from the prevalence of cynical superhero media like The Boys, the general level of cynicism in society more broadly, they struggle to imagine someone just being decent, yet they still don't act on those beliefs or assumptions, wrong as they may be, which Charlotte sees as a missed opportunity for some deeper self-reflection. Okay, so this is a bit of an interesting one. These games are a chance to explore the version of yourself that maybe aren't really there, Charlotte says. Maybe you are too afraid to say the thing or make the joke or step up and defend yourself in real life, but I think that if we give you these practice runs, maybe next time you can. Well, here's the thing. We don't expect the world to be nice. We have been browbeaten for so long that we've long since given up on that assumption. But that does not change us. See, the interesting thing is, we gamers in particular, we're actually really good people. In fact, too much so for far too long, which is why we've allowed far too many game companies to run roughshod over us for years and years with ever more predatory practices, where we are willing to forgive and forget the most horrible of abusers so long as we get a little head pat in the next installment of the video game. Hell, I remember...
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. I think that the issue is that because the thing is that obviously let's be honest here, a lot of people that get really popular or really get out there, really get their name out there, or get talked about a lot are usually the jerks, or usually the assholes, usually the bad people. So for us, it's more expected that most people could be like this, but just like, yeah, but the average person isn't like this. The average person is actually pretty nice. It's just that we don't get to see. It's the thing is that doesn't really get. That's not what's out there. The bigger person, the what gets out there is the more the bigger person are, the assholes and all that shit. Because hey, it's if any publicity is good publicity. So if I get publicity for being a fucking jerk and being an asshole, then you're gonna get popular. It gets
Napoleon Total War, a fully priced expansion pack, was pitched to the fan base as an apology for the utter mess that was Empire. Oh boy. Oh boy, indeed. So we will act nice because we want to have the world be nice. We want everything to be nice. We will steel ourselves for the betrayal, but we will not.
And the thing is that we can either go with the basic route of going a blonde blazer, or we can help redeem Invisigal. That's a pretty nice. I think that's even more being a nice person if you're willing to forgive. Cause don't forget, Invisigal was the one who put the bomb on Robert's back when she told him back in episode 8. So, like, you're kind of asking us to be nice if you're giving us the choice to forgive Invisigal for what she had done to us. Like, you're kind of pushing us. Hey, let's be nice here.
Not simply lean into the horribleness of it all, which I think is rather fascinating. Also, there are also more practical issues. People aren't seeing a lot of the content ad hoc put into dispatch. Shorter uses one early example where Gollum, one of Robert's team members, is behaving atrociously. You have the option to boot him out of the conference room during a meeting or try to make peace and offer him a chair. Yes, Gollum can't fit in a tiny chair, in the case of Robert's method and yours not aligning, even if the intent is the same. Most people are being nice and only see that version.
Oh no, I kicked his ass out. Because that's the thing. Obviously they push around Robert, right? So obviously Robert's like, okay, well, this is how I took his fucking things. Like, yo, okay, these villains ain't gonna respect me if I get pushed around. So if I need to put my feet down and say, yo, I'm your fucking dispatcher, alright? I understand that you guys are the heroes, but I'm telling you where to fucking go and how to solve your problems. So you're gonna respect me. So, and that's the thing. It's just that no matter which way you go, it makes sense for Robert to be like that. So if Robert is letting Gollum in, that makes sense for his character. But if Robert says you gotta kick these niggas, I'm gonna kick you out, Gollum, that also makes sense.
Version of Robert without knowing what happens if you kick him out. The answer is that Robert establishes a bit more authority and Gollum gets pissy and refuses to take orders during the next shift. Now, that one is actually a good point because I too immediately was like, no, kick him out.
Yeah, I was there
He has
too.
aggressed upon you twice now. It is time to punch the douchebag back. Simple. There's not a not insignificant collection of other examples, but the one that's shaping how a lot of people see the game involves the romance choices, namely the fact that most critics and players don't realize Dispatch lets you ignore romance altogether, and this is a mind-boggling thing here.
Yeah, it's funny because it is an option. You can either go with Blonde Blazer and Visigal, try to get with both of them. Because you can either be with Blonde Blazer, you can either be with only Blonde Blazer, only Invisigal. You can try to do both, or you don't do with any of them. Most people chose one or the other. Most people tried to choose one or the other, but you know, that's kind of how people are. You know what I'm
You
saying?
don't have to kiss Mandy ever. Herman says Invisigal might fall for you, but you can say no, you know. Again. To me, and to the I think I saw a Twitter.
Let's be honest here. It's kind of hard not to. It's kind of hard not to just ignore them. It's kind of hard not to, but I know you can ignore it and shit like that. But let's be honest here. Let's be honest here, man.
That showed 8% of people hadn't chosen any romance. That means that 92% of people viewed this game primarily as a romance game, and it seems
I wouldn't say it's primarily a romance game, but to deny that romance isn't. If you're saying romance is not a big part of Dispatch, then you're just fucking lying to yourself. If someone out here says that romance is not one of the big things in Dispatch, you're fucking lying to yourself. Because romance is a big part of Dispatch, for sure. Been like that since episode 1. To deny that romance is not a big thing in Dispatch, you're being disingenuous as fuck.
unimaginable to see how you could view Dispatch as anything but. And the fact that the developers who wrote the romance apparently were blind to this fact is mind-boggling. And on a point as well, Dispatch had apparently been in development since 2018 in one form or another, initially being in life as a live-action show. God help me,
I'm
almost perversely intrigued. And then undergoing several major changes over a lengthy development period, including
I'm kind of glad it's not a live action show.
2 publishers, and then finally a collaboration with Critical Role before actually being released. This thing was in full-on development hell for absolute ages, and the fact that it came out and was so good and received such broad appeal and praise is nothing short of a miracle. A miracle that by any real logic should not have happened. Invisigal's story has multiple endings as well, and her good guy outcome isn't tied to romancing her. Instead, it evolves from choices you make supporting her as a person, not as a love interest, and even the jobs you send her on during each shift play a role in how she eventually sees herself. You can fall in love with her and still have Invisigal end up a villain. That would suck. Support her without being her lover. There's a lot more going on. Dispatch.
Yeah, for me, I was the latter. I supported her while being her lover because in my gameplay I chose to be Mandy, but I still supported Invisigal and shit like that. I still helped her be a hero, even if she's not emotionally mature and shit like that.
Than most people have realized yet, Herman says. Even some late game scenes play out significantly different depending on the choice you made earlier and who is or isn't around as usual. You just have to actually make choices that get you out of your comfort zone first. But I don't want to. See, this is one of the fundamental disconnects between people who make games like these and the audience. I don't want the ending where Invisigal turns out to be a villain. I don't want to play through the story actively being a douchebag to Invisigal. That holds absolutely zero appeal for me. In fact, going through the game once and having a good experience, that was all I was really asking for. And I'm now very slowly going through it one more time to check out the Mandy route as well, and that's about it. I don't want to be sad. I don't want the bad ending. I don't think most people want the bad ending. Ad Hoc admits that some of these issues may stem from design choices, and Charlotte says the team is considering an update to give players a clear idea of choices' immediate consequences, not necessarily in my opinion. Other issues are built too deeply into the game to fix, though, like making Invisigal so present in Robert's daily life. Short and Herman says they realized it was a mistake to keep Mandy so distant and to not let players see her on screen as often, which make them naturally more inclined to form an attachment with the latter. So while they're disappointed if folks don't give Blonde Basin much of a chance, they do understand. And I don't even think it was that. I literally do think it was because she came off as a good person, which we're scared of these days. Although I do agree, I would have loved to see more character development, as honestly, they could easily have squeezed in another 2, maybe 4 episodes before I would have gotten bored.
Yeah, legit. I'm curious on how Blonde Blazer got their amulet. I'm so curious on her backstory and how she came in contact with the amulet and all that stuff. I would have loved to see like her first time using the amulet, just seeing her fucking struggle to use the abilities and stuff like that. That would have been so fun to see. Yeah, we should have gotten a lot more of Blonde Blaze. I would have loved seeing her, as what motivated her to be a hero. How did she come to contact the amulet and stuff like that? I would have loved seeing that for sure.
Focused on the cast of Z-Team, focusing on their backstories to a greater extent, as one of my favourite parts were the interactions with Flambe, honestly, because he is just a lovable fucking asshole, and I adore him for it. And they also mention here that they would love to work in Dispatch Season 2, and they are. Like, there's no goddamn way. Unless they themselves also...
And what makes Dispatch such an easy thing to do is that you have so many heroes and like so many villains. Obviously, we see villains appear and stuff like that. We have so many characters that we saw in Dispatch and shit like that. I would have loved to see like like Omni-Man. We saw a bit of Omni-Man's team. I would love to see a bit of Omni-Man's team and like how they feel about Omni-Man and all that shit. I would have loved to see that. There's so much you can do with Dispatch. You can have like a mix and match of heroes. Okay, have like a mix and match of heroes. Like, okay, we have like Punch Up, Blonde Blazer, whatever, all that stuff. I would have loved it. I would have loved that a lot if we get to see those those interactions. Because we have a lot of heroes that we saw in the background, stuff like that. We have a lot of obviously we heard about a lot of villains, like the puzzle. I think his name is Puzzle Master or something like that, the Brainiac guy and stuff like that. I think I would have loved to see I would love to see the interactions between the character, the Robert, and like a new hero and shit like that. And I would definitely love to see what's gonna happen next, because obviously Robert has the suit. So is he gonna be back to being a dispatcher, or is he back to be a dispatcher, or is he gonna be on the field 24/7? Or are we gonna take are we gonna do like another, or we can do like this, we can do like another character. We can do like another character. Yeah, you can just do that, like an anthology type of thing. Like do it character by character. How like some other hero be part of SDN and them learning about that. Again, there's a lot of things you could do with dispatch and shit like that. 'Cause I don't think Rob is gonna be a dispatcher again. I don't really think so. He could. I think he might be. He might be a dispatcher again, but we don't really know. So
realize that shit. How did this work out the way it did? And then think, we can't repeat this. If we try, we're going to fail.
yeah, that's the thing. They think that it's bad to be a nice person. So they think that, hey, since it's gonna be bad, they literally give you a role of a hero who abandon guys who need a role model. Exactly, that true. That too. They need a role model who is not to be pushed around, but is still a hero. So they kind of guide you to be a nice person, to be that beacon for redemption. Because if Robert can come from the ashes and rise up as being Mecha Man again, then these guys could too, especially if they have powers and shit like that. Fucking shit.
Did you notice how nobody, not a soul, commented on how diverse the dispatch characters were? This was a sudden realization that dumped into my head a few days ago, and it felt weirdly like a eureka moment.
Yeah, legit, because they didn't push on your head. They didn't nail it over your head. They hinted at it. It was subtle. For me, I didn't know Flambe was gay. I didn't even know that Flambe was gay until I reheard the dialogue. I'm like, oh shit, he actually gay. Because when Robert said, yo, you wanna go on a date or some shit as a joke, he was like, yeah, you're not my type. So he could have said, I don't swing that way, but he said you're not my type or whatever. So, and like when he was talking about, getting to the clubs, he's like, I didn't go to the clubs, I went straight to the clubs. So it shows you that, it's hinting that Flambe is gay. Right? Yeah, Flambe, yeah. So just like, even if they have LGBT, they have freaking characters who are gay, and that they didn't, and it's like whatever, because again, people, let's be honest, the average person doesn't care if you're gay or not, bro. All they care about is if you're preaching. If you're preaching that shit, that's a fucking problem. If you don't preach and just like treat them like a normal person, like an actual character, then they're not gonna care. Because there's more to Flambe than just him being gay. There's more to his personality than him just being gay. So,
yes, indeed, thinking back, you've got pretty much every race, color, creed, gender, and body type imaginable in Dispatch. And I put out a random tweet about it, going like, oh, this was a weird thought. And for some reason, that was shown to damn near 600,000 people. And the comment section is filled with people going, you're right, I hadn't actually considered that. That's weird in the current day and age, isn't it? As, indeed, you've got everything from Polynesian Islanders to black people to brown people to flagrantly homosexual Afghans in this show with Spanish accents for some weird reason. And yes, indeed, Flambe's outfit does scream homosexual. There ain't no way that man is straight. So, why is this even important? Why did so many people go...
And Invisigal has some... Invisigal is definitely Asian heritage. She seems like a half Asian, half, like, Caucasian.
Oh, wow, that is weird.
She's
At this idea. Well, it comes back all the way at the beginning of our current cultural conflict, as the initial thesis, the thrust, the argument of the progressive was that gamers were racist, sexist, homophobic, etc., etc., and they had to grow up. Gaming had to change. It had to become more modern, more occupied with serious questions, like racism, sexism, homophobia, yada yada yada, rather than nonsense like, oh, having fun, I suppose. And at the time, our argument were, no, we're none of those things. You're the weird one here. And now, 10 plus years later, we've basically returned to point zero of this to finally, yet again, for the umpteenth time, prove the point we already made that no, gamers literally don't care about any of this. The only thing gamers care about is quality. And so long as that is provided, you can make the most diverse game you could damn well imagine.
Yeah, we have Chase is black, Poupe. I thought, yeah, Prism is black. Yeah, Prism is black. Chase is black. Yeah, Void is Samoan, right? Visigal is Asian. Flambe is an Afghan. Punch Up is he's Irish or Scottish. I'm not too sure. I don't know Irish or Scottish. I don't know who. It depends on who Jacksepticeye's freaking fans. Anyways, they have freaking British people. Like they don't. Again, people listen. People don't give a shit about diversity as long as it's not fucking preachy about it. Okay. Because guess what? These guys are characters. They treat them as characters. They didn't have no adversity because of what their skin tone is. No, man, like, come on, bro. They treat them as characters. And now it's a mouthpiece.
And it will be lapped up by everyone. To the point where, amusingly, I've seen also virtually nobody try to claim Dispatch, as normally, when something becomes suddenly and explosively popular, you see a little bit of a back and forth struggle over who it belongs to. This happened with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, for example, on a significantly larger scale. But social media, the various news gaming outlets, nobody's really been trying that with this game. Again, despite you've got everything from constructs to demons to black people who bend light to tiny Irish midgets to actual literal monsters to disgusting people to aliens to, well, Floridian Indians and of course the main attractions, the stars, Blonde Blazer and Invisigal, whose popularity is proven by the sheer mind-numbing quantity of fan art the two have received. And I think one of the reasons why this hasn't been attempted to be claimed is because it's weirdly non-political, and yet also weirdly explicitly neutrally political. This is exactly the kind of game that I would hope that my tyranny of neutrality would actually enforce upon the world. Something that feels just, well, frankly, normal compared to what else has been going on in the world for ages. Hell, it was frankly a shock to me that there weren't any gay romances in this game, as I feel like the gap between it was also a big part of the reason for Dispatch's success. Dispatch does diversity perfectly. Their sexuality or ethnicity or race or whatever isn't their personality and what defines them as characters. They are those things plus being a character. Flambe would be awesome no matter if he was gay or straight. So I want to read a couple of the comments on this. I found them fascinating. And that's exactly the point. When I first started up Dispatch, I was expecting it to be a diversity dumpster fire, frankly. I liked the idea, but the roster of famous people, indeed, the apparent diversity of the crowd and so on, and the current year and the studio pedigree, all made me think, okay, I mean, this is a Critical Role production. It's probably going to be woke. I've seen what else they've created, but the theme is too good to let go, and yet there was none of that in there, which was a genuine shocker. Indeed, amusingly as well, the only comments of the show's diversity, or the game's diversity, actually came pre-launch on things like the Steam forums, where other people like myself had noticed and went, is this gonna be woke? And therein lies yet a further note amongst all of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have man with daddy issues, woman with asthma and ADHD, black ancient, recovering addict, Muslim from hell, Scottish dwarf man, Afghan gay man, black woman with a father figure, femme fatale, single dad, agnostic alien.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Prison doesn't have a dad. Yeah, prison doesn't have a dad, but that's not pushed on. It's kind of like a throwaway line. They're just like, oh yeah, you have a dad? Marilla was like, I didn't know you had a dad. You told me, I didn't even know that.
Alien or a redhead with social anxiety. You've got the entire gambit, and myself and many others have grown far too accustomed.
Who's a recovering addict? Oh no, that's Sonar. He's a coke addict. Okay, yeah. He's a drug addict. Okay, yeah, I see. I was like, who's the addict? I'm like, oh yeah, that's
noticing. See,
that's Sonar.
There is a difficult balance to be struck here. As just like a couple of weeks ago, I defended Stuttering Craig for noticing there was an awful lot of diversity in a show supposedly set in a 98% white city in America. That noticing is good noticing. It shows you when wokeism has been forced into a product. It is a warning sign that usually indicates more cancer to come. But you can notice too much as well. There is absolutely a potential for growing too, how do I put it, paranoid in a sense, getting too.
Yeah, I understand. You can be too paranoid or whatever. But the issue is that people have to be paranoid now because now AAA studios are pushing this shit. Right, so when you have people pushing this shit over and over and over and over again, you get paranoid now. It's like, okay, if you just seeing a character with their skin, like, oh shit, we're going back to this shit again. Like, I get why people are acting like that because it's I get why people are acting like this is because just like, yo, like we've gotten this over and over and over again. It's just kind of surprising. Just like we see diversity done well. Just like, oh shit, oh fuck, they actually treat them like actual fucking characters instead of pushing a mouthpiece. It's like, oh shit, like, huh? Cause even when I was playing the game, I never realized that. I don't care. And I have proof of this. I have streams of myself playing this game, and I don't care about the skin tones of the character. I never cared about it. I didn't care about it because the game was so good. I'm just like, oh yeah, I don't care. I don't care if Invisible is Asian. I don't care that Flambe is gay. I don't care because these characters are enjoyable, even with that. I don't care. Because that doesn't matter to me.
Seeing political topics, even when there aren't actually any political topics there. In the entirety of Dispatch, I think they make one diversity joke, and that is in the context of Blonde Blazer being, as she herself says, overly corporative. It is mocking the idea as something that companies do now, as a checkbox to be ticked, rather than any actual appeal to the worth of the idea. And again,
yeah, it was so funny. It was like, yo, we believe in diversity and shit. We believe in diversity and shit like that or whatever. And obviously, when you're a hero, when you're in a hero agency business, it makes fucking sense because obviously different powers and shit like that. So it makes sense. So when talking about diversity, it makes sense within the SDN because the more people you have, the more versatile you have within your STN, the more problems you could be able to solve, and it makes a lot more sense to have that. So, and then so funny because they plot off a joke about it. Yeah, we called it the triple D, and when I said we should do that, he was like laughing because that wasn't the way he was saying because they made a joke out of it, and it's fun.
I myself fell prey to this. I assumed it was going to be some kind of The Boys style superhero modern show where everyone was an asshole and the only question was how good they were at hiding it. Indeed, I looked back on a bunch of the reviews after the fact for the
and it's so funny because even when they're assholes to each other, it's just jokes. They know even when they're assholes to each other, they still got each other's backs. They still defend each other. Right? When freaking Gollum threw a punch up out the door, punch up like, yeah, I stepped out of line and then I got what I deserved. Like even when they act assholes to even when they make fun of each other, they're still together. They're still homies. That's the thing. That's what I like. That's what I like about it. Even when they joke at each other, they're still best. They're still good friends. Him and Robert and Chase freaking make fun of each other all the time, and yet they're still so close to each other. So that's what I like about it too. Even when they make fun of each other, even when they insult each other, they're still close friends and they're willing to back each other up. When freaking Flambe about to burn Robert, Gollum came in and fucking defended him and protected Robert from getting burned. So it really shows you that even when they're jerks to each other, even when they make fun of each other, they are still friends, they are still teammates, and they are still close to each other.
Views of the game in the first 2 episodes, and most of them too were like, okay, this is probably going to basically be a The Boys style show, and all of this is going to be figuring out how the characters turn into giant douchebags. Everyone thought Phenomenon was evil. Everybody thought Blonde Blazer was evil. I thought Blonde Blazer was evil because I have been so...
Yeah, I think most people thought Phenomenon was evil because we thought of Omni-Man. Because a lot, and again, that's just how modern people are nowadays. They want to subvert these traditional heroes. So when we see a very nice person, or we see someone like Phenomenon or someone like a very nice person, we think of like someone like Homelander or Omni-Man. Just like, this guy may turn evil sooner or later. We gotta keep ourselves on our toes. But when we find out that these people are actually good people, we're like, oh, okay. And that's the reason why I didn't want to tell Omni-Man. This is why I didn't want to tell Phenomenon about the truth that when Robert and Blonde Blazer kissed. That's why I chose not to tell him the truth, because I'm scared of, oh shit, what if he gets all petty and starts trying to kill people and shit like that. So that's why I'm like, because I've watched a bit of The Boys, and I know the comics. I know the comics. I watched a bit of the show, and I watched Invincible. I'm caught up with Invincible, and I know the comics too. So it's just like, I'm just like, oh, this is this could be bad. So I was like, yeah. That's why when I was in that episode, I think it was episode 3. It was episode 3 or 4 when we're talking to Phenomenon Man. I was like, I'm not gonna tell him the fucking truth that Robert and Blazer kiss. You fucking crazy. Next he does some of that Homelander arm man. She starts killing people, and that's the reason why. But it turns out that even Phenomenon Man's like, okay, like, it's me. It's my problem. I thought it was your fault, but nah, it's me.
Idea of a female being nice being a red flag. It is such an absurd thought, but the very idea of a woman, an attractive woman, being nice, approachable, normal, decent, was somehow practically unheard of. The idea of having just a superhero story was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's the big takeaway. It wasn't in your face about it. In more production, companies realized there's one key method, maybe gamesmen can become good again.
And that's the thing. Exactly. I don't care. Freaking Galen, I don't care that he's fucking, it's so funny. It's like, yeah, I'm from Florida. I know Blonde Blaze was about to say he's from, he's like, yeah, I'm from Florida. And that's what makes it so funny, man. There's diverse, there's so much diverse. There's a lot of diversity in Dispatch, but like that their racial identity is not what defines them, and that's what I like about it. It doesn't define the characters. There's so much more to them than there's so much to them than just the skin tone. Because Invisigal's problem is that she was born with an evil power. It doesn't matter. It wasn't her skin tone or anything. It was that she was born with an evil power, right? So like it's. Ah, man.
And there's the thing too, there is absolutely value in diversity, which is again where the too much noticing comes in. You can absolutely have a game with a wide amount of representative characters that people can get interested in. In fact, I would heavily argue that that is a good thing. Have every type of waifu you can imagine, for any gender you can imagine. Have the muscle mommy, have the brown girl, have the straight-laced girl, have the obvious bear gay guy, have the flambe person, do it all. I am all for it. But
yeah, but the thing, I don't want it to be that. I don't want that to be the personality. I don't want that to define the character. Flambe is gay. That's not what defines his character. It's him. It's his tumultuous dynamic of Robert, obviously because the backstory and how his fingers got cut off and shit like that. It's also him wanting to be a hero and shit like that. So we get to see, and his dynamics are obviously the other Z team members as well. So there's more to Flambe. There's more to these characters than just what their skin tone is or what their background is. You know?
Make it just be there. See, one of the most fascinating examples as well is the romance option. If you pick Invisigal, Blonde Blazer seemingly hardly even notices, because she's interested, but she's interested in the way of a normal human being, in that she doesn't really come on to her much. She sends an invite, hey, do you want to go to dinner? And that's her putting her step forward and putting her ticket in the race, basically. Whereas Invisigal is significantly more jealous the other way around.
Yep.
Again,
I played it. She is so much more jealous. She is so much more jealous of it. Even when yeah, she's so much more jealous of it. Even when sorry. Yeah, she's so much more jealous of it. Even when like her motivation to get the Astral Pulse so quickly was to be like close to Robert and like for her to be with Robert more. She did it for him, and she revealed that and showed that, despite the fact that she was the reason why his suit got damaged in the first place with the bomb and shit. But again, yeah, she's emotionally, and I would love to see her backstory, because obviously, yeah, she has a villain backstory for sure. But I'd love to see like how more of a backstory into like why she's emotionally stunted to that point.
Human relations. We've almost seemingly forgotten this. Honestly, it never even really dawned on me. The only thing I noticed while playing were how good they were written. Again, this is one of the beautiful comments too, where people had the same eureka experience that I had, where they suddenly kind of went, you're right, it is a incredibly diverse video game, but it was all good.
It was all good. The only time that I noticed it is when Prism talked about her not having a dad. That was the only time I'm like, like, you know, typical black joke with it. That's the only time I really laughed about talked about that. Besides that, most of it was just they didn't know. Most of them it didn't really dawn on me like that until Prism. Even after Prism said, I'm just like, I don't care. I'm seeing Royd kicking ass and shit, bro. Like, I'm seeing Royd fucking throwing people like fucking javelins and shit. You think I care about that, bro? Go on, Maui.
And crucially, again, it wasn't political. That is probably the biggest point. Diversity is an issue when that is the character's only purpose, correct? I'm not the hugest fan of Lambert, for example, compared to the rest of the cast, but I don't give a fuck that he's gay, since that's a minor part of his character.
I like Flambeau. I like his powers and shit. He's a cool character. He's a good character. So when shit happens to him, it's just so fucking fun. Like, yo, get you fucking jerk. Man, get you burn off your damn eyebrows.
If his only character trait was being gay, then we'd have a problem, and that is the issue of so many characters today. So many diverse characters. Dragon Age the Veil Guard. We have an entire conversation about the non-gendered trans character.
Yeah, basically pulling a barf, they called it. Basically, yeah, a character in Dragon Age the Veil Guard. Just to give you guys more context, there was a character in Dragon Age the Veil Guard named Barf who was non-binary, and whenever a character would misgender her, the character I think the character had to do push-ups or jumping jacks. I'm not too sure which one it was. It was some form of physical exercise, and she was like, "Yeah, it's called pulling a barf," and shit like that. I'm just like, when I saw the clip, I'm just like, I'm glad I didn't get this fucking. I'm glad I didn't get this fucking game. Even if it was free on PlayStation Plus, I wasn't get to get fucking game.
Becomes all you are. You're not a character anymore. You're not interesting. You're not a part of the world. You are somebody else's political agenda. You are the writer's pen made obvious and blatant to force in a point they personally believe to be important into your entertainment. Exactly. Some people act like there was never any dice in movies or powerful female characters, etc. There's been a lot of them in the past. The problem is when you start making that diversity or girl boss the whole point of a movie, and that makes them one-dimensional. And furthermore, when that is the only character. Yet again, one of the assumptions of Blonde Blazer being evil was because there's gotta be a girl boss character in here somewhere, right? And Blonde Blazer even is, to an extent, a girl boss character, like when she busts in and saves Robert, for example, or lifts him out of his depression. She is absolutely a little bit of that, but that is not all she is. Whereas most modern-day movie characters are just that, the infallible girl boss, whereas Blonde Blazer's her very powers aren't even her. She is reliant on an external force rather than on her own abilities.
And it furthers understand to why she wanted a normal life for Phenomenon. When she asked him that question in the car, well, you guys have to read the comic, but it further understands her wanting to be a robber, as well as her asking Phenomenon those questions in the comic is because she's a normal person. So she's even when she has the amulet that gives the superpower, she's still a normal person in the end. So she wants that settle in life and shit like that. Because she's a normal person, she's gonna want that eventually. Even if it's later rather than sooner, that's still on her mind. You know,
this thing has been absolute cancer on entertainment. And it's not like we haven't had that in the past either and been wildly popular. Xena Warrior Princess is practically the girl boss show personified, and yet also simultaneously not that, as Xena herself is also a deeply flawed character who fucks up, fails, and is abused and misused on multiple occasions. You know, actual humanity again. Or because it was organic, and every character actually felt like a real person instead of some lazily generated caricature. When you do that, people stop caring about how diverse your cast is. They care about good characters, good storytelling, and a good game. Exactly. Which takes us back, yet again, to the beginning of all of this. All anyone has ever wanted, all anyone has ever asked for is good games. Good characters, interestingly written, and compelling. Compelling is also a very important word in all of this, I think. Invisigirl is compelling.
Yes. Even with her flaws, even when she betrays the crew and stuff like that, it's still compelling because you still understand why she did it. She helped Shah because she has problem with asthma, and she wanted to, and she has problem with asthma, so she wanted to join so she joined Shroud, but infiltrated the Phoenix program. But as she remained in the Phoenix program, she realized she wanted to be a hero. She liked being a hero, so it brings confliction on should I be a hero or should I go back to being a villain? Because my powers are villain powers, but it's shown I can still use them for good. It's that complexity and that internal conflict within Invisalign makes her such an interesting character, and I think that's why most people choose her as a romantic option, because it's that whole I can fix her, enemies to lovers type thing, so it's more interesting that way. That's why. Anyways, who do I want to talk about some anime? Well, since you saw Shigaraki's death, we can talk about death in anime. Don't really care about Attack on Titan. Okay, I'll just say problem. I'll say problems. How anime ruined Death Note's second half. It just got rushed. When I remember I watched Just Stop's video and shit like that. And when you look, and I saw some of the manga. When you look at the manga, it's much more detailed. You get to see a lot of what's his name? Neil. So we get to saw Neil's thought process and shit like that, into reason why he backs up with this conclusion of why not Death Note, fucking goodness, on why Light is Kira. And we got filler, and he was why? Well, I wouldn't say filler, but fluff. I would say fluff. But anime got fluff feels empty. Because filler and fluff are not the same thing. Filler is stuff. Filler is an okay. When you talk about filler in the actual sense, you mean that stuff that's not in the manga. It's not in the source material. So, for example, in One Piece, the GA arc is filler. Right, it's completely filler, so it's not related to. It's not canon to the source material. But when people talk about filler, they mean fluff, like stuff that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of the narrative.
Remember when filler used to be the worst thing in anime? Naruto's swing scene again, Gaara's tragic childhood for the 6th time, One Piece dragging us through Long Ring Longland like it was a punishment. We complained about it, we skipped it, and we memed it to death.
I didn't skip it.
But now, I kind of miss it. Because somewhere along the way...
I didn't skip it because Long Ring Long Island is canon, it's manga canon.
Anime stopped slowing down, characters stopped hanging out, and those weird, unnecessary, kind of pointless episodes, they started to feel like something we don't get anymore. And that's what made me want to look into what filler gave us and what... The way anime stopped slowing down, characters stopped hanging out, and those weird, unnecessary, kind of pointless episodes, they started to feel like something we don't get anymore. And that's what made me want to look into what filler gave us and what anime might have lost when it slowly disappeared. While filler may have a bad reputation, it wasn't always just recycled animation or off-model character art. It was more of the in-between. It was the episodes that weren't in the manga but filled the world in ways the manga never had time to. Like when Naruto got paired up...
No. That's not why I classify as... Well, that is filler, but when most people talk about filler, they mean like fluff, like stuff that doesn't really care. He's kind of conflating the two. When people talk about filler, they mean that stuff. They don't mean just about anime original stuff. They mean that stuff that's even the stuff that's in the story that doesn't mean anything in the grand narrative. So, for example, Long Ring Long Island it does not matter in the grand scheme of One Piece, but it's there because it helps flesh out more the characters and shit like that. Besides that, it really means nothing. He's conflating fluff with filler. If we conflating fluff with filler, he's kind of conflating the two definitions of filler.
With Kiba, Shino, and Hinata for some random mission about finding a beetle that could magically track down Sasuke. Or when Rock Lee and Might Guy dragged him into some absurd side quest about the Curry of Life, both of which were hilarious. And yeah, I'll admit, these episodes didn't push the plot forward, but they made the world feel alive. They gave you moments with characters you didn't know as.
It makes the world feel lived in because you get to see different places and get to know stuff about those places, and we get to see characters interact more. And I think that's the problem with new shonen. People nowadays don't have the attention spans. They just want plot. So when you see a more slow-paced story that wants to flesh out interactions and dynamics, people don't really like that because guess what? It's not pushing the plot forward, right? So what's the whole point of what's the whole point?
As much about, and made them feel real. They made the village feel like an actual place, not just a backdrop. And I could say the same about One Piece as well. The Straw Hats were always vibing, cooking, fighting over food, playing stupid games. Filler gave them space to breathe, to just exist. And that space, that's where a lot of the heart lived. One Piece has always had this unique energy about it. Sometimes it's epic, sometimes it's dumb, and sometimes it just wants to hang out. That's why its filler never felt completely
yeah, cause One Piece is like it is the true definition of what an adventure is. Cause there's gonna be moments in adventures where it's gonna be dumb fun. Then sometimes it's gonna be a fucking serious as fuck. That's kind of what an adventure is. You're gonna have those moments here or there where the tone's gonna get serious. Sometimes the tone's gonna be all laughy and lighthearted and shit like that. One Piece is like One Piece is like the true definition of what an adventure anime is. It's all about it's all about the journey, having fun, exploring different worlds and shit like that. And obviously, yeah, there's gonna be moments where shit hits the fan, but so there's gonna be moments where things get fun and lighthearted too. It's kind of like a mix of both.
Disconnected. Even the silliest arcs added something to the crew dynamic. Let's take Long Ring Longland as an example. It's where the actual manga content was extended with a lot of filler. And yeah, it was goofy and it stalled the story. But you got to see the Straw Hats participate in these seemingly dumb games. You got to see Luffy go head to head with all sorts of weird characters, and you got that iconic boxing scene with Luffy and Usopp. On top of that, you got Sanji and Zoro arguing.
And Luffy's so dumb. It's so funny because all Foxy wears like some simple disguise, and Luffy's like, "Where's Foxy?" Everyone's like, "That's Foxy." That's Foxy. Like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Foxy was here." No, it's so funny how dumb Luffy is, man. It's hilarious. Robin's like, "Yeah, I kind of like this mask. I wouldn't mind being part of this crew." It's just like, oh my goodness, it's so funny, man.
Over something dumb every 5 minutes. It gave us a moment to pause and really have fun with the crew seeing their dynamics together. Or the G8 arc, which is easily one of the best filler arcs in.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, G8 arc was so well done. It's such a good filler arc. When I first watched when I was watching the anime for One Piece, I watched the G8 arc and I didn't even know that was filler. Because it fits in so well within One Piece. Because again, for One Piece, you can basically land on any island. You can basically go anywhere for One Piece. Because One Piece, the plot isn't really like the main focal point. Even though it is an overarching plot in One Piece, it's not the main focal point. So basically, Luffy can go to like 15 islands and the plot can still happen the same. So it's just like
anime.
So like when I saw the G8 arc and I found it was filler, I'm like, oh, I didn't even fucking know that, because it just fits in so well within One Piece that I even fucking realize it.
There was no big villain, no world-ending threat, just the crew stuck in a marine base trying not to get caught. It didn't matter that it wasn't canon, what mattered was the vibe. The world felt real and the characters felt like people you wanted to spend time with. And that's exactly what filler did. It reminded you that this wasn't just a grand adventure, it was a story about the bonds, the arguments, the laughs, everything that made them feel like a family. And let's go back.
It was so funny when Robin was disguised as Robin Usopp was disguised as a Marine, and Robin's like Usopp got caught. Robin's like, I don't know this person. Usopp's like, hey, you know me, we hang out a lot. And she's like, I don't know this person. Fuck you, mean boy. Oh my goodness, man. One Piece is so good. It's such a good show. Oh, my issue with One Piece is mostly like the slow pacing, some and the ass pull shit like that. But like, it's still a good show, even with the flaws.
Back to the Naruto filler for a moment. After Naruto and Sasuke fought in the Valley of the End, the story hit pause. And for a lot of us at the time, that pause felt like an eternity. Dozens of episodes, no Sasuke, no big villain, just Naruto going on missions. And back then, people hated it. They called it useless, skippable, and a waste of time. But looking back...
Yeah, I think the reason why is because, Naruto in the filler didn't really think much about Sasuke and shit like that. It was more just about the missions that he was going on. So
now, it was kind of special, because those episodes weren't about the plot, they were about the people. Naruto teaming up with random pairings from the Konoha 11, running the hilarious missions with Lee and Might Guy. We got to see random weird combos you'd never see otherwise.
yeah, and that's the thing. I want that, and that's why I have issue with modern anime. They don't do that anymore. They don't really do that, and this is the issue for Shonen Jump too. Shonen Jump, they will ask anything in you. They'll ask anything nowadays. They'll ask you when you're like 50 or 40 chapters ahead. And that's my problem with that. People, a lot of mangaka, they jump off the gate sprinting. They jump off the gate directly into the plot. And that's my issue with a lot of modern anime. They always jump into the play, hit the plot too quickly. And yet when shit happens to the characters, people don't really feel much about them because it's like, hey, we didn't really spend much time with them. So why should we care whether they die or not? Like fucking when Mai died in JJK, I didn't really feel much about it because I'm just like, I didn't really know much about Mai. We focused a lot more on Maki than Mai. And again, when Nobara died, I'm just like, I don't really care about Nobara because we didn't really know much about her. Sure, she was enjoyable to be. She was enjoyable when she's goofing around with Yuji Megumin, but it's like, as a character, I'm like, I don't really know much about her. But when she dies, I'm just like, And that's the problem. I think they should have a lot more. They should have a lot more slow moments like this. Like, let's be honest here. I have never knew, like, I would never like I don't even think in Naruto there is a moment where Naruto and Ino were on a mission together. I don't think there has been ever in Naruto when Ino and Naruto are on a mission together. But in filler, just like, yo, let's mix and match. Fuck, man. Have Rock Lee with Might Guy and have Naruto and Rock Lee and Might Guy. Have Naruto with freaking Ino and fucking doing shit together. And that's what I like about it. And the issue is that people don't like it. People don't want that stuff. People don't have the attention span to like all the small stuff. So when so when people see all the small stuff, the little slice of life stuff, they don't really care about that.
They gave the background characters the spotlight, let them talk, fail, be awkward, and let them feel human. The village felt like an actual village, not just a stage for big fights, but a place where people lived, argued, trained, and tried to move on. And for Naruto, it was the last time he was just a kid trying to be acknowledged. Before the Akatsuki, before the Fourth Great Ninja War, just a lonely kid doing...
Even in Shippuden there was filler as well. Literally, Naruto's clones had a revolution. The clones had a fucking protest against Naruto, but because he treated them badly. Because the clones wanted their own lives and shit, he had a protest. It sounds so stupid.
Doing his best. It didn't move the story forward, but it helped us sit with the characters before everything changed. But filler didn't just disappear by accident, it got pushed out by the current state of the anime industry. Back in the 2000s...
And here's the thing. It's an issue with it's an issue with the industry and it's an issue with the populace. It's a both person's issue because the people at the top nowadays don't want because the people at the top nowadays they want immediate success. They want as soon as you get a few volumes in, they want to see that breakthrough of you getting that money for them. If you don't make enough money for them or get enough sales, you're butchered, you're axed, right? And that's gonna be an issue because the companies, they want money now. So if you don't, if your story doesn't get them money now, as I don't have money now, but as much as money as they want to get from you, then you're gonna be axed. Simple as that. So not only it's an industry problem too, and it's also an audience problem, because let's be honest here, most of the audience don't have good attention spans. It's been documented that our attention spans have been on the decline. So when we see slice of life stuff, basic, characters hanging out, doing little missions, low stake missions, all that stuff, it's like it's boring to them. So that's the problem. It's just that they need that constant stimuli nowadays, and if you don't get that stimuli, it's considered a mid anime, a bad anime, a boring anime, because it's like you're not jumping to the plot anymore. It has to be plot with every single episode, with every single scene. It has to jump to the plot every time, or at least most of it, 95% of it has to jump to the plot every time, or else people are gonna drop your show or consider it boring or consider it bad and shit like that. It's just how it is. It's just a problem that both the industry and the people have.
Shows like One Piece and Naruto ran every week. No breaks, no seasons, just constant episodes. Whether the manga was ready or not. That meant filler was a necessity. Studios needed time to let the manga breathe, so they added in between arcs, detours, and downtime. But today, anime doesn't really work like that anymore.
No.
Most modern shonen is seasonal. You get 12 episodes, maybe 24 if you're lucky.
And that's the thing. The reason why a modern anime do seasonal is because not only do you have time to do the animation, but it's also giving the manga time to keep. It's also giving them a bigger gap, because the reason why they do the filler for Naruto and stuff like that is because the anime was catching up too fast to the manga, right? The reason why Bleach suffered from that problem. One Piece, they didn't really have that problem until they never had that big of a problem. Sure, One Piece had filler, but it wasn't as much as Bleach or Naruto. It's because these studios were going too quickly and adapting too much, and it was catching up too much to the manga. So in order to give them space, I was gonna have filler and stuff like that. But now, since anime is seasonal now, it gives the manga much more time to write down the story, the manga format, which gives studios enough time to adapt it bit by bit until it ends and then catch ups. So, for example, when Demon Slayer ended 5 years ago, guys. Okay, Demon Slayer ended like half a decade ago, but yet they're still doing the movie. They're still on the final arc because it's seasonal now. So they're taking their time and giving much more room for the mangaka and the studios to breathe.
And it goes on a break again for a year or 2 or even 3. And
Or
this new model
5.
gives us higher animation quality, better pacing, tighter stories, but it also means that there's no room to breathe. Every episode has to matter, every scene has to push the story forward. I, for example, would have loved to see the Jujutsu Kaisen trio of Yuji, Megumi, and Nobara get more time just being.
And it's so fun because we saw, and that's the thing is, we saw glimpses of it. We saw them getting fucking freak out over Gojo's shirt. And we saw them playing baseball and shit like that. And that's the thing that I don't like. That's the thing that I don't like about Jujutsu Kaisen, is that we don't get those moments in. We don't get a lot of those moments, right? Those moments are fucking fire when we get to see fucking them playing baseball, all that shit. It's fire, because it's just dumb hanging out and fleshing out the dynamic and stuff like that. And sometimes, I'm sorry, but there's some moment that you can get characterization there's sometimes moments where you can get characterization without being fights. In JJK, there was a moment where this girl, she lost a lot of weight, right? So she looks completely different to how she looked back in middle school. It was in middle school. Yeah, in middle school when Yuji was there. So when she's like, "Yo, I'm not too sure Yuji's gonna notice me. He's not gonna know who I am." And when Yuji comes to the restaurant, he's like, "Yo, what's up?" and says her name. She's like, "Oh shit, he doesn't remember me." that brings so much into Yuji's character, in that how Yuji recognizes people is more than just appearance. It's also about personality. Also about the personality of that person. It brings that characterization into Yuji. That you can't always get that in fighting and stuff like that. So that's why I like having fluff and stuff like that, because it's more when you have fluff in mangas, you have more opportunity to flesh out your characters. So when shit hits the fan, we're like, oh shit, I don't want this character to die. Or when this character does die, we're like, oh shit, this character fucking died and shit like that. Like, Nobara's death would have been so much more impactful if she just got more time. If she got more time and more fleshing out and more fluff time with the other two guys, and we get to see more of a battle, whatever, it would definitely impact much more. But we don't get a lot of that anymore because the people don't want that, and the manga industry don't want that either.
People hanging out, screwing up a mission, or even seeing combinations of characters we don't get to see together often complete these missions. Even simply seeing Yuji and Todo's hilarious interactions more often would have been nice. And so filler didn't just die because we hated it. It died because the industry has changed. And when
and the issue is not just the industry, but the audience has changed too, because the audience don't care about that no more. The audience don't want that no more. The stereotypical shonen tar doesn't want fluff. They want action. It's just how it is, and I don't like that. But
filler disappeared, we didn't just lose those extra episodes. We lost the downtime, the weird, quiet, nothing really happens moments that made these worlds feel real. We lost the chance to see characters just exist, to laugh over lunch, to mess up missions, to interact with people they normally wouldn't. We lost a bit of that emotional build-up, the slow bonding that made the big moments hit even harder. Or when you see the Straw Hats argue, joke, and struggle with small things, their loyalty feels more real when it matters most. Modern anime just doesn't give us that to that same level, and it's not because the stories are worse, it's because the format doesn't allow it anymore. And yeah, the fights are gorgeous, the animation is peak, the stories are amazing, but sometimes I don't want another high stakes battle. Sometimes I just want to see what Naruto and his friends get up to during a random day in the Hidden Leaf Village. And yeah, I'll be the first to admit, filler was never perfect. A lot of it was really just padding, waiting week after week for a new episode, only to get one that didn't move the story forward. It was frustrating. In fact, a part of me is still happy that some of the more aimless filler is now gone. But as well, now that these long-running shows have ended or are nearing their end, looking back at them as complete stories, not just as weekly 20-minute episodes, you start to realize something, that some of that filler truly deserved to exist. Because it gave us something that's hard to find in anime today, which is space. Space for characters to feel like people, space for moments that didn't matter to the plot but mattered to us. And now that it's gone, I don't just notice what we gained, I notice what we lost. Yeah, the newer shows are faster, prettier, and cleaner, but sometimes they just feel a little bit more colder. That's why I kind of miss the time when anime gave us the time to linger, to waste an episode, to spend time with the world, not just the story.
Yeah, and that's the issue. It's not only the industry issue, but it's also just an audience issue, because audience won't like that. The audience won't like that, and then the industry doesn't want that either, because again, if you don't get running off that gate, if you don't start sprinting, because again, Oda, he treats One Piece like a marathon, right? He treats it like a marathon. He's doing bit by bit. A lot of mangaka, the usual manga, treats it like a fucking sprint. So it's just like you have to get the floor running when you get to it, or else you're gonna get cut.
In the end, filler didn't always elevate the story, but it expanded it. It gave us moments that didn't need to be epic to be meaningful. And maybe that's what I miss the most about filler episodes. And with that, I'll wrap up this video. I just want to take a moment to thank everyone for their support on my first ever.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I think of it too. That's how I think of it too. That's just how it is. Okay, let me just do this. I'll put on some music. I'm gonna start doing some editing for my next chapter.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Yeah, that's right.
Here we go. Invincible. I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason dried out tears of sorrow, lacking all emotion, staring down the barrel, waiting for the final gates to open to a new tomorrow, moving with the motion, in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, 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 won't you let the light shine through? In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you,
Alright, guys. I just fucking made a whole new chapter. Alright, guys, I'm gonna end the stream right here. Thank you guys so much for coming. Yeah, we just ended the whole fucking stream just with us. Shit, fucking awesome. Alright, man. Alright, I'm gonna end the stream right here. Thank you guys so much for coming. Tomorrow is the variety stream again, except it's on Twitch. Yeah, I was gonna do a wins meet, but I just felt tired. I didn't really feel like doing much, so I'm gonna do it right here. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and yeah, see you.